Oh. Oh, is that streamers' opinions after 1 year of Touhou related things? It sure is. So what is this? Well, every year I like to do a sorter at the end of the year where I see, where I see if my opinions on characters have changed based on different things that I have seen, or even just how different your feelings change towards characters, because people change as they evolve, as they grow, you know? This is how it bees. So, I don't have my previous sorter on hand. If anybody would like to find my previous sorter and see my opinions relative to what they will be now, I tend to also do this after drinking a little bit because you're a little more honest. a little more honest. So you want to talk about these two characters? First of all, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. Starting off, yeah. Now here's the problem. I don't like Zanmu, but like, I don't give a shit about Yugen Magan. Like, if I told you right now that I like Yugen Magan more than Zanmu, that's not even really true. But I do not like Zanmu. But I don't hate Yugen Magan. He's just like, he's just a who cares kind of character, you know? So, I don't really know. But I don't like Zanmu. You're already wrong. What? Because I don't like a boring character? Come on now. Come on now. Ties are for pussies. Alright? You either like a character more or you like a character less. You do not like a character in equal amount. You just don't. You just don't. Everybody has the favorite child, okay? Everybody has it. And those who cannot admit it are pussy. So, there's no tie. I never tie. Never. Never, 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 never. Will never tie. Not me. That said, Eyeball Monster is Eyeball Monster. Zanmu is just Zanmu. So, I'm gonna click Zanmu because I really don't have much of an opinion on Yugen Magan, like, at all. Also, I like how this music ended Hina and it continued into this part. So, yeah. Okay, so, Okina. I'm not actually an Okina fan. Now, I'm not the guy who demands that you put her in a basket of oil and fry her. That's not me. I'm not that guy. But I do understand when people say they don't like the character, because I'm not really huge on her either. Satori, I think Satori is pretty swell. This is like the third time this theme has played in this 225 playlist, by the way. 225 different songs, and it played that one 3 times with individual... I don't care anymore. Okay, let's get back to the point, shall we? Let's get back to the point. I still really like Satori, and my opinion of Satori is that she looks like she weighs 20 pounds at the most. She looks like she would float away like a balloon if you weren't careful with her. What does that even mean? I don't fully understand how to explain myself when I say shit like that, but that's how I feel when I look at Satori. That's how I feel about Satori. I don't know how to explain it. Oh, I clicked Satori, by the way. You can't see my mouse. Maybe you should click my... Well, I mean, you don't need to see it. I'm going to tell you who I clicked anyway. I just feel like if I pushed Satori, she would just, like, float away, you know? Alright, Kozuzu I think is adorable and one of my favorite written work characters for sure. Raisin is barely a character in my mind. So I'm clicking Kozuzu. Ringo and Yuka. So, I'm not really a Ringo guy. Ringo's alright. Still never really had anything to really do much for her. She's just not my kind of character, that's all. Yuka's a whirlwind of a character, I think, for a lot of people. Some people view her very negatively. Some people view her positively. I've come to really understand which Yuka in particular I like. And the Yuka that I like is the one who is simply misunderstood for being a violent freako. Like, I like her Fantasy Maiden Wars version. She's a good antagonist type of character for sure. Very free form. But my favorite Yuka is the one who everybody's afraid of because they assume she's really scary, but she's actually a sweetheart. But she just looks really scary. She just looks really scary. That's all. I like when Yuka is actually a big softie, but she's terrifying. She's terrifying. Eren and Singyoku. So this is another issue of I don't even have enough of an opinion on Singyoku to really say if I like or dislike them. However, I do not like Eren. I do not like Eren. Eren kind of annoys me. Eren was a lot better when I only knew her as just like an accessory to other characters, but man, when she talks, she is just so perfect and so much smarter and so much more handsome than your streamer, and I just can't stand for that. I can't stand for that. No, Eren annoys me because she gets away with a lot of bullshit, but she's extremely arrogant, and she's also a Lunarian. And, you know, some people really like her. I think out of all the A and Tay characters in general, she's the most boring, and her main source of comedy usually comes from abusing Raisin, which I don't think is very funny. I don't really like Eren's main source of comedy because it's usually results in the poor treatment of others. Whereas even like a character like Tay can get comeuppance, but Eren never really gets punished for any of the shit that she pulls. She just gets to pull it because she's Eren. Kaguya is also a shitter, but that also blows up in her face a lot because sometimes Moko just fucking rips her in half, like literally rips her in half. But Eren always seems to be free from any form of comeuppance to any of her activity, and I don't like that. However, Singyoku is not a character. Streamer, why do you enable PC98 when you feel this way about most of them? Because some of them I think are actually great. Like, Sariel is really cool. Sariel is not a character. Sariel is a fucking image. Okay? Sariel is an image, not a character. But she's really cool. However, I like the Prism Rivers. I like the Prism Rivers a lot more than I used to, for sure. Does it really matter in the long run? Probably not, but I dig them. I'm not clicking Evil Eye Sigma, but I am not a Yoshika fan. Alright, now this is gonna sound silly because I have everything I just said prior, but I actually really like Ellie's design. I think her design is pretty cool. Vampire, magic, girl, demon thing, whatever she is. And, I don't really like Urumi at all. Urumi's design is not appealing to me in the slightest. I don't really like her. So I actually do like Ellie purely from an aesthetic viewpoint more than I like Urumi as a character, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is how it is. Kotohime and On? Bro, I fucking love On. Alright? Kotohime, who cares? But On's not going to be top 10. I doubt. There's no way On's going to be top 10, but I love On. On is such a good kid. She's such a great character. She deserves so much more than Reimu can provide, but it's fine. She does her best. That's all I could ask of her. Cherno and Yuma. Dude, I love Yuma. Yuma is such a weird character. She's so arrogant and full of herself, but like she's also, her confidence is not necessarily unfounded. And also a lot of her personality is so, like, I wouldn't say she's easygoing, but there's just something about her that really just, like, strikes. And I mean, that's why she's the boss of the fucking, that's why the Goyoku Alliance even exists, is because so many animal spirits just thought she was so cool that they followed her and they turned it into an organization. Like she's very aware of things that happen around her, and she's very chill for the most part. She just does her own thing, which I think is really cool. I think she's great. Cherno is not my favorite fairy. Cherno will never be my favorite fairy, but she is Cherno. So no matter what, you're gonna have to deal with her, one way or another. That's just how it is. Maybe that's not what you want to hear. I don't have a problem with Cherno, but Cherno's aesthetic, like her personality, I kind of, it's weird because I like Sunny a lot, and Cherno and Sunny are pretty similar. They're hot and cold, but I think I just like Sunny's design more than I like Cherno's, and that's really what does it for me. But they're pretty similar in terms of their energy. But Sunny, I'm a much bigger fan of Sunny, for sure. Mayumi and Kikuri. Mayumi is cool. Mayumi opens the door for some very unique fan art with how she is a Haniwa doll. Kikuri I actually think is pretty cool in theory as well, but ultimately there's not much to her, so yeah. Kasume and Sanyo. Kasume, as far as I'm concerned, is a character who shows up every now and again, and I go, oh, it's Kasume. Sanyo is a character that I pretty actively don't like, because pretty much everything about her design is the antithesis of what I like about Touhou. Like, pretty much everything. I do not like Sanyo. It is not close. Frog and Mugetsu. I am not a Mugetsu fan. She barely registers as a character to me. Frog is not my favorite character, but she is funny. And really, what more could you ask for? Wriggle and Tay. Wriggle is okay, but she's definitely my least favorite of the Team 9 crew. I like Tay a lot. I think Tay is goofy. I don't like when Tay is always being a poopy head. Oh, this song is in here. Nice. This is a great song. It's the Embryo song. It's very good. I love this one. I like Tay a lot. I think Tay is very goofy, and the shenanigans she gets up to are pretty fun. But when she's just vehemently getting on racing, it kind of loses its luster. So it's like small doses of Tay are good. But yeah, overall, Tay is usually she's a silly character, and I enjoy her. Like I mentioned earlier with M1, I think her skits in M1 are very funny. Tay-Core in particular, very funny. And Wriggle's just not my kind of character, I guess. She's neat, but doesn't jive. Oh, okay. These two cornballs. Okay, so Keiki is silly, but I've never really felt much of anything towards her. Shimada's barely present, but I like from the moment I saw her, I thought she was a goofball, and I really liked that idea of her being a goofball. She's not really actually a goofball is the thing, but I can't really see her as anything but a goofball. So I like her a lot in that regard, but ultimately I don't have a lot of opinion for either of these characters despite those aspects to them, because it just don't really do much. Shimada looks like a pain in the ass to draw though. That's for sure. Aya and Genji. Genji's cool, but Aya is one of my favorite characters, and that's probably not going to change. I think I said it earlier in the stream, but she's very easy to work with. Her role is very malleable. She has good chemistry with so many different characters, and she's cute to boot, so everything just kind of works out in her favor. Star and Saki. Saki's neat. Saki is neat. I really want to see her interact with Miko, but she's a pretty straightforward musclehead type character, but she's not like most of the hot-headed characters in the series are usually just like small fry, but Saki is a hot-headed character who's actually like pretty big shot character. But I don't know, man. She never really did much for me, I suppose. She's neat, but I feel like there's so much more that should be done with her that I want to see that nobody's ever really done. Now, granted, Shiori 22 has a lot of art with Saki and Miko that's very good, but yeah, ultimately, Saki is a character who the most interesting aspects to her character, the fact that she's Miko's horse, is not explored to a degree that I would consider interesting. So as a result, she's kind of just a character who gets to show up rarely, and I guess she's neat. But her gimmick is speed, and the other character whose gimmick is speed is the character she's said to look like. So, you know. You know. Cowboy Aya. Star scares me. Star scares me by a pretty significant margin, because even though she's a fairy, I feel like she's capable of acts of violence compared to other fairies. Fairies go hee hee ha ha. I sure showed you. Star looks like her idea of a joke is not what you would consider a practical joke. Just a little bit. Now, I ain't saying that Aku is right, because Aku definitely got some opinions, for sure. But I kind of trust Aku's opinion on fairies regarding Star. She is the type to push your baby stroller down a hill and go hee hee hee. That's my opinion of Star. Aku claims that they will push you over a cliff and go hee hee. I think Star would actually do that. I don't think the other fairies would, but I think Star would actually do that. She also knows how to make a bomb, bro. She knows how to make bombs. They made a bunch of snowmen on Reimu's yard, and Star was like, here, peep this. And she put bombs in all of them. They all fucking blew up. And they were like, whoa. And Star was just like, haha, that's so funny. Like, you fucking put active bombs in all these snowmen. Why did you do that? Why would you do that? But I do appreciate what she brings to the Three Fairies, and I'm a fan of the Three Fairies. The Three Fairies manga in particular reminds me of the aspect of Touhou I like the most. The more slice of life aspects that aren't too like insane and you know, grim dark or serious. I really like Touhou as more of a relaxed series, and the fairies perfectly capture that idea of a more chilled out Gensokyo than most other things often do. So that's why I like them a lot. Ben and Mioi. Okay, so Ben is Ben, which is not saying much. Now, Mioi is an interesting character because she does have her moments, but Mioi kind of bothers me because I feel like she gets away with a lot of bullshit that no other character is allowed to get away with. Now, what does that mean? Well, this year I read all of Lotus Eaters, minus 2 chapters, I suppose, because they weren't out yet. But there are a lot of chapters where Mioi just, like, gets huffy, and then she gets her revenge, and then she just, at the end of the chapter, is like, haha, Mioi got you back, bitch. Like the Kaneko chapter, for one, where Kaneko disguises herself, comes in, says her sake is not very good. Then she has her sake at the Hakude shrine, and gets Kaneko to admit that, like, she was wrong and her sake is actually pretty good. But then she still gave Kaneko nightmares anyway, and was like, haha, serves you right, bitch. Like, what? What the fuck was that? Like, you already showed her up. You made her acknowledge that she was wrong, and then you still gave her nightmares anyway. Just a little hee-hee. Like, what was that about? You didn't need to do that. So I just feel like she gets away with some bullshit like that sometimes. And she's still cutesy, but, like, bro, she just be showing up and giving people nightmares and watching. What is she doing? Why is she doing that? So she does kind of annoy me in that regard. Also, the fact that she feels like a secondary character in her own series. She's called they say she's the main character of Lotus Eaters, but it's more often the fact that because the series' main location is at her bar, she is just a character by proxy. But it seems like she's not actually that relevant. She's like the quest giver, you know? Like with Kozuzu's getting involved in shit a lot herself. But with Mioi just like gives a quest to a different character, and then you read the chapter about the other character solving the quest, and then Mioi shows up at the end and is like, man, thank you for doing that quest. Like, the main character is the fucking NPC who gives you all your quests throughout the game, instead of being the main character. My god. Anyway, Ben's pretty hot, but there's really not much else to her character. But She annoys me less than Mioi does, so I'll give her that. She just randomly does things sometimes. That's the problem, man. 60 fucking chapters, and she's inconsistent. Why is she so inconsistent? Pisses me right off. Okay, Eternity doesn't do a lot for me because she's a character whose whole idea didn't really go anywhere. Then Suika minus the majority of Lotus Eaters. I'm just gonna say it. Lotus Eaters has some great Suika moments for sure, but I do like when people acknowledge the fact that Suika is more intelligent than just being a constant drunk. But man, sometimes in Lotus Eaters, she is just a pain in the ass. And now I understand how much I really appreciate when she really is just a stupid drunk. Things are so much simpler for her when she's like that. Call it what you want, but yeah, Suika's definitely better when she's unconcerned with the ways of the world. I think she's a better character like that. Xion and Luis. Okay, I actually have a positive opinion of Luis because I like her design, I like her idea. Xion is a character I've been named majority of my time indifferent to. I don't really like her. I don't really understand what it is about her that other people like. I just assume it's a feeling of pity. Obviously, I love her sister, so there's that. But Xion is a character who has some funny moments for sure, but she's also a character that I usually just feel bad for, which is why I don't like seeing her, because she's never really in a good situation. So when she shows up, it's like, oh, how did the devs decide that her life is miserable this time? You know, that's the majority. That's the majority of what happens with Xion. Is it's just, how do we make this character? How do we present this character as miserable? And it's like, oh, it just makes you feel bad, bro. It just makes you feel bad. But Luis is purely from an aesthetic standpoint. She's not really a character otherwise. Mai and Futo. I do not like Mai. I don't even need to explain Futo. Futo's funny. She's funny, but I don't need to explain it because I don't like Mai. Eiki's an interesting character because I don't particularly care about Eiki, and I don't particularly care about any of the fandom aspects that make her more endearing a character. However, I do not like Seiya. I just don't like Seiya. Particularly, I don't like her attitude, and I don't like the way her relationship with Shimi was formed at all. I think it's terrible. And as a result, whenever she shows up, she's usually just being a bit of a twat, and I don't, you know, she's just a contrarian. She shows up just to be a pain in the ass. I don't really like her at all. But I'm not an Eiki fan. Okay. Now, I've said this before. Chat, the Great Catfish has made more appearances in canon than Mai has. Did you know that? Did you know that the Great Catfish has more appearances in canon than Mai Tereda? Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? Okay. My opinion of the dancers is very negative. I do not like them. I really, really hate their attacks, their boss fight, everything in the game they're from. I like their theme though. But the fact that they basically don't exist after Touhou 16 is kind of crazy. And as a result, they barely register as characters for me. They were one of the last characters I remembered their names for because I could not fucking remember who was who. Distinguishing between them was surprisingly difficult because they just did not appear. And as a result, I do not like them. Like, there's not even anything about them to like or dislike, but I just don't like them. I don't like them. Was Nogi's whole thing to replace them? That's part of what the reason she gave for why she made the incident, but the truth of the incident was that she was basically announcing her existence to a bunch of people in Gensokyo, being like, hey, I'm here, so before you try and think of any funny business, remember that I exist here, and you know, if I don't like what you're doing, then you better be prepared for that. So her main purpose of the Four Seasons incident was basically just to announce to Gensokyo that she did exist, announcing the secret god. Marissa calls her a pain in the ass for that, but then Okina responds like, you know, this is kind of what gods have to do, right? Like, gods have to make a big show of their power because their power comes from faith and fear and, you know, stuff like that, reverement, worship. So she has to make a big deal of her power so people understand that she exists. Because otherwise, nobody knows she exists, then nobody believes in her. She has no power. So on and so forth, right? Anyway, I hate the Green Lady. Meira and Shimmy. So, as I just said earlier, I don't like Seija. I don't like Shimmy. Shimmy would be such a better character if she was completely separated from Seija. She would be a better character in that regard, but she's just not. So as a result, I don't really like her. Meira, on the other hand, Meira is an interesting character. Unfortunately, she's not very interesting. And the most iconic thing that she is known for is that the idea of her dating Reimu was yucky. She said it was yucky. Yucky, yucky, yucky. That is Meira's most defining characteristic, is that the idea of dating Reimu is gross. That's it. That's her whole character. Oh, but she looks really cool and she has a sword, right? Nope, that's not the part that matters. That's not the part that survived the test of time. Nope, not that part. Interesting character, but she isn't interesting. Nice streamer. Yes, that's what I said. Because she looks interesting. Look at her. She's got a pretty neat design. But she's not interesting because there's nothing to her. Because she disappears as quickly as she appears. And her most memorable aspect and covered aspect in Fanon is a part that is completely irrelevant to her aesthetic. I mean, maybe not completely irrelevant because she's a little masculine, mind you. But, like, that's her character? That's what the character's remembered for? Really? That's what the character's remembered for? No thanks. No thanks. No thanks. But yeah, I don't really like Shimmy. Like, I really don't. But Shimmy as a character is a lot neater when Seija is not relevant. That much is for sure. I clicked Shimmy, by the way. I did click Shimmy. Okay, Kyoko and Flandre. So, Kyoko is adorable. Alright? Don't get me mixed up. Kyoko's adorable. I like Kyoko a lot. However, Flandre is so versatile in her depiction. She's like putty. She's like putty. When you put Flan in your story, you can just kind of give her a little squeeze and make her the kind of character you want to make her, you know? Like, you give her a little squeeze, and then bam, you got your Flandre for the story. Perfect Flandre for the story. And there are so many interpretations of Flandre that nobody bats an eye if you use a specific one. So much putty. Thank you, Dushi, for the resub. Tier 3. Tier 3. Oh my goodness. Fuck Flandre. Oh no. Oh no, he has just made an enemy of the chat. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. But yeah, I personally really like the Flandre. I like the Flandre appearances where she's sillier, more childish, doesn't have a good grasp on holding back. Stuff like that. I like silly Flandre. I like the goofy Flandre. And I've come to like her a lot more, for sure. Just in general. I think she's great. Oh boy. Alright. So, I just think that Eika's kind of ugly. And that's about the extent of it. I feel bad for her. And I think she's not very, like, she's not a very, like, aesthetically pleasing design. And I think Toyohime is extremely boring. I do not like Toyohime. I actively dislike Toyohime. But even so, this is a bad combination. Oh. Okay. Kagero? Dude, Shoujo memory, Kagero is adorable. Very adorable. She's very cute. Kagero is pretty cool. I will admit. She's pretty cool. She's pretty neat. But. Kogasa is great. The versatility of Kogasa's character. I think Kogasa is much cuter than Kagero as well. That's a very important aspect, mind you. It's a very, very important aspect of character right there. It's just like, you know. Very important. Very important. But I like I like her more defined character. But they're both good characters. They're both good characters. Don't get that twisted. But between the two, it's definitely Kogasa for sure. Okay. All right. Okay. So, listen. Despite everything that happened regarding the character on the right, my opinion of her essentially did not change. Okay? My opinion on her basically did not change. She is what she is. Ichiden, on the other hand, is very boring. She's a very boring character. And pretty heavily carried by the fact that Zun is always with her. However, she's very pretty. She's very, very pretty. Alright? But she's very boring. Even though she got to be in the fighting games over Sho for some reason, she's not an interesting character, like, at all. Even her origin story is not very intriguing, because her origin story is about how she defeated Unzan, and Unzan was so impressed that he decided to dedicate his life to her. But then after that, it just goes on about how eventually she turned from human to yokai, so I guess she's a yokai now, Lamau. And I guess she met Byakuren, Lamau. But straight up, that's Ichiden's story in relation to Byakuren. Whereas Byakuren's story of Murasa is about how Murasa drowned, and then she caused issues. Byakuren went out to sea to deal with her, and Murasa sunk her ship because Murasa saw her as a high-value target to increase her spiritual energy to basically become free from the chains that binded her, to level up. She sunk the big shot monk, didn't feel any satisfaction from it because Byakuren went down so easily, but from the water, Byakuren rose on a ship that looked like the ship that Murasa had drowned on, and asked Murasa to become the captain of it. Like, that's a good story. Sho as well. Sho, Byakuren worships, is a devotee of Bishamoten. Bishamoten didn't have the time to be, like, there, so Byakuren introduced Bishamoten to the best yokai that she knew, which was Sho, to be a disciple for her. And that's how they met. And they had a, combination, like, they got together like that. And Nazarin is a disciple of Bishamoten. It came to watch Sho. So, Murasa and Sho, in terms of Byakuren's, like, attachment, makes perfect sense. They have a big story to it. But Ichiden's story is just about how she came to know Unzan, and then she just kind of ended up knowing Byakuren, and they got along, and now she has the same level of devotion as Sho and Murasa do. But Sho and Murasa have a much clearer reason why they respect Byakuren as much as they do. Whereas Ichiden is just kind of like, yeah, I'm here. Ichiden looks the most attractive out of the Myoden gang, though. First of all, that's factually incorrect. Now, you're right in saying that she's attractive, but she is not the most attractive. Alright? You're competing her with a tiger woman who is like 6'2", and a lady who swings a giant anchor around. Alright? That's what you're comparing it to. Think about what you just said, okay? Think about what you just said. You are wrong. You're wrong. You're so wrong. And an alien who used PlayStation symbols. Okay, to be fair, Nue isn't really part of Byakuren's group. Nue didn't know who Byakuren was. When Nue popped out of the geyser with them all, she fucked with Murasa and made the floating silo be... She tried to get in the way of it, because she assumed Byakuren was some kind of, like, not good force. And then when she learned that Byakuren was actually on the side of yokai, she was like, oh shit, I fucked up, didn't I? I kind of fucked up. And I like that aspect of her because it also kind of paints her as a loner. And she's also worried that her actions would cause negative opinion of her from her peers because she does know the group prior to Byakuren. And there's also common depictions of her being friends with Murasa. So the idea that she's like, oh fuck man, I really blew it, and she's not sure they would accept her. But because Byakuren is Byakuren, she obviously would accept her, right? So that kind of story does tend to happen for them. So even Nue gets more than Ichiden does. Ichiden's so coming up short, dude. The cracks in the facade that make the characters interesting. That's not how I would say it, but you're right. I tend to refer to it as endearing character traits, but you basically are saying exactly what I'm saying. The flaws of a character are what make them more interesting and more realistic. So when characters exist and their flaws are not pronounced, very boring, or just non-existent, we don't attach to them. But when we see a character, the true nature of a character, we grow more attachment to them because we understand more about them. That's why I think Byakuren is such a strong character, because in a vacuum, she's just, oh, I think humans and yokai are equal, and she's a very, how would you say it? She's a very, like, passive type of character. Like, oh, she can do no harm. She's so nice. But when you read her backstory is like, oh yeah, she became afraid of death, her own mortality. She pursued dark magic, but the magic was based on the type of magic that is also, like, keeps yokai alive. So to preserve her youth, she needed to keep the fear of yokai alive. So she ended up masquerading as a yokai exterminator, essentially. But the more she worked towards exterminating yokai, the more she came to understand and appreciate them. And she went from being, acting out of pure selfishness to really understanding the plights of other yokai, which resulted in her eventually getting sealed away by the humans, who considered her an ally of the yokai. But she still, despite everything, she never blamed anyone for it. So, like, her character growth to the character she is established in her backstory, which makes her feel more believable versus just a character like Zamu. I'm ripping on Zamu here, but strictly speaking, Zamu's omake. Zamu's omake states that she was an eccentric monk. She consumed a bunch of spirits. She realized she was gonna go to hell anyway, so she went down there early. She went to hell early before she fell to hell herself, and she won over all of hell because she was so cool and so charismatic and so strong. And then she became an Oni, and then she was like, you know what, former hell kind of stinky. And everybody was like, I agree. And then they left former hell, which is why it's former hell, and they made new hell. And that's Zamu's backstory. Her backstory is she was so cool and awesome that she's so cool and awesome. No character growth, no nothing. Just, she's so cool and awesome. Like, straight up. You can go look at her omake yourself if you want. But yes, she goes to hell and she wins them all over with her charisma and her strength. And she's so cool. But Byakuren here has a whole story starting with the death of her brother that leads her to the situation she finds herself in, which makes her seem like a much more interesting character because she actually underwent characterization and growth in the story that we're reading. But in Zamu's case, and again, I'm just ripping on Zamu here because she's the only one that comes to mind, is that she's just kind of immediately like, oh yeah, you're so cool, and then that's it. She's just instantly like that, right? So that's why I don't really like Zamu. Basically, if a character's story is essentially asking me, the viewer, to accept that they are super cool and awesome because they said so, I don't accept that. If you can present me a scenario and story which leads me to believe that it makes sense for them to be the way they are, that's cool. If you just tell me I have to think they're like this because you should think they're like this, then I don't like the character. I don't like being told what to do. I don't like being told what to think. I don't like that. No siree. Give me a story, I'll decide for myself if it's cool. Don't tell me I have to feel a way about a certain character because everybody else did. Present a story that leads me to believe that the character is the way you want them to be perceived as. If you just tell the viewer, the reader, to feel that way about a character, they're gonna tell you no, because we're all children. Deep down, we're all children who don't like being told what to do, okay? No, I'm not gonna do that now, alright? You said I had to, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Fuck you. That's how it goes. Alright. 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 Anyway. Perfect song. Alright, anyway. What am I talking about again? Right. Okay, so Ichiden and Tsukasa. Ichiden underbaked. And Tsukasa doesn't exist. Despite her master manipulator status, she really doesn't exist outside of being a bit of a object of desire, huh? At least she's not half-baked, right? Alright, I'm clicking Tsukasa. I'm clicking Tsukasa. Alright. Misamaru Momoyo. Momoyo doesn't really do much for me, but she is neat. Misamaru I do not like. I do not like Misamaru because she is an extremely important and relevant character to different aspects of Touhou, but then her design is abysmal, and she doesn't do anything outside of her appearance in 18. So it's like, I don't care. Oh, I made your Yin Yang orb. Oh, you mean that orb that's super important to the Hakurei bloodline? You made that? I sure did. Cool. How'd you make it? What was it made for? Could you talk about it a little more? No. No, I don't think I will. I think I will now disappear forever. Goodbye. Like, great. Thanks for dropping that really cool information and not doing anything with it, you fucking bastard. I click Momoyo. Ooh. Okay, alright. Now, I think Sho aesthetically is really cool. However, the issue with Sho is that she doesn't get to do anything ever, despite how cool she looks. Remy, I love Remy. I want to pick Remy up and spin around in a circle and then probably die. But maybe it'll be worth it. Maybe I die. Maybe I die. But maybe it's worth it. Remy is such a versatile character, and that's why I like her so much. She really can fill in pretty much any role you want her to. Good design, good aesthetic, very malleable character. Makes sense for her to be involved because she's just so whimsical. And usually when she sees something interesting, she just gets involved and gets everybody involved. It's such a simple aspect to her character, but it's surprisingly effective how anything happens and Remy goes, neat, I want to do that too. And then she's like, Sakuya, and then Sakuya gets involved, and she calls Patchy, and then Mei Ling is sometimes there, and maybe Flandre is, but usually Remy's just like, I want to do that too. And then suddenly Remy is now part of the game. Oh, man. So, I like Remy a lot, okay? Streamer, how come you're at 4% and this video's been 40 minutes long? Because I like to talk about the characters, and once we get to a certain point where we've kind of gone through all the characters, I can kind of just start click, right? I'm gonna start clicking, and then we'll get there. So, Iku is a bitch to draw. Not that I would know, I never drawn her. Kongura has no legs. Probably really easy to draw as a result. Oh my. Here, let me help you, brother. How's that? That better? That better? I hope that's better. Now your ass don't have a choice. Alright. One sec. Oh, wrong one. Hold on. I gotta find it again. Alright. I'm back. I'm glorped out. Alright. Anyway, Iku is neat. I think she's strongly overshadowed by Tenchi, though. I think she's strongly overshadowed by Tenchi, but I do think she's pretty cool. I honestly believe that the complexity of her design is what keeps people from really making a lot of art for her, because she's such a fucking pain in the ass to draw. Kongara is a neat idea, but much like Sariel, she basically only exists as a singular image. So while there's a lot of cool aspects to her design, nothing's really done with it. But you gotta admit, there is a lot to her initial design that leaves a lot to really work with. The lack of legs, the sword, the sake, the horn. Like, there's a lot to her that's really cool. But Touhou 1 is Touhou 1. Alright. Niwatari, Kutaka, Raiko. I like Kutaka. I think Kutaka's pretty swell. However, I'm actually a big Raiko fan. I don't think any character in the series dresses as nicely as Raiko. She's such a sharp dresser. She's so snazzy. She's so cool. But it's just nothing's done with her. The worst part about her, I think, is that it's established that she knew that her power, her life was caused by the miracle mallet, and while she still was under the effect of the mallet, she exited the Hakude. She exited Gensokyo because the barrier, the Great Hakude barrier, only stops living beings. Tsukumogami aren't living beings; they can actually exit and enter the barrier. Please don't pay attention to the other aspects that come from this, but this is what she did. She went to the outside world and found a new source of magical energy. She shared this energy with Ben, and Yatsuhashi, which is why all three of them still exist, despite the mallet's power running out. That aspect of her character is not explored at all. How did she do it? Who did she find? What exactly is that magical power? Nobody knows. So many interesting variables to her character, never explored. And we don't get any more of her at all anyway. So it's just like, why? Should I have a Pop-Tart? Yes. When I'm done streaming, I'm going to eat my Chippy. That's what I'm going to do. Speaking of Chippy, I have to pee. I'll be right back, chat. But I'm going to click Raiko. And I'll come back with Yomu and Byakuden in 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. You know, chat, sometimes I wonder if, like, what would happen if the amount of interest I had towards this series I had towards, like, a subject that was less this, right? Yeah, like what if I had this same level of passion towards something like algebra? Like, I loved algebra. Like, I loved the study of natural gases. Real interesting stuff. But no, this is where my This is where my intelligence quota lies. Alright? I have little room in the brain for anything, and the majority of it is stuffed with information on this series. And not a lot else gets in anymore. Huh. Oh, man. Anyway, we have Yomu and Byakuren. So, I was talking earlier about, Byakuren. Byakuren is cool, and I appreciate her a lot more than I used to. However, Yomu is Yomu, and Yomu is Yomu. So Yomu. Yomu's great. Yomu very versatile. Not a lot of roles Yomu can't fill. Different aspects she can fill as well. Yomu's just a great character. She's a very well-made character. Embodies so many different aspects that all feel believable to her character as well. I think she's great. I think Yomu is a top-notch character, and Zun should make more Yomus, just like Yomus. Alright. Maribel and Doremi. Okay, my opinion on Hifu is, I'm not gonna bore you with that one, but, Doremi is pretty cool. I think Doremi's pretty funny. When she does things, I giggle, I go hee hee hee. But I don't think she's, like, supposed to be a joke character. But a lot of the time, whenever she does something, she's usually being a shitter, which is funny to me. I like the idea of her being a bit of a shitter, but then she also, whenever she talks, she's like very serious, and she's like, please listen to me, I'm trying to explain something very important. Well, it's not my fault one of your fucking special attacks is pulling out a vacuum. Like, how am I supposed to take you seriously when your attacks are, I'm gonna blow up balloons, or I'm gonna vacuum you closer to me, and I'm gonna blow a trumpet, I'm gonna throw a bed at you. Like, Doremi, your attacks are corny. They're so corny. But you want me to take you seriously, you stupid bastard? Oh, man. Anyway, she's funny. She's funny. I like her. I like Doremi. I think Doremi is pretty cool. But I view her more as a comedic character than a serious character. And that's not just because of her expression. That's all. Shizuha normal battle. I can't. It's so loud. No. No more romantic children. Nitori's good. Kassan and Kane. Oh, this is an interesting combination. Red versus blue. So, which one of these do you like to listen to more? Pardon me, fellas, but could you help out a fellow North American who's down on his luck? Streamer, you're 52 minutes in and 5%. I sure am. Don't worry about it, man. We're getting there, alright? We're getting there. Don't worry about it. Okay. So, Kassan is nosy and annoying. Kane is, in theory, nosy and annoying. But we never get to see her do that. I actually think I like Kane more, if only because there's less exposure to her in canon than Kassan. I don't hate Kassan, mind you. I don't hate Kassan. But I think that Kane is a very interesting character. She's one of the most underutilized characters in the entire series relative to her ability and relation to an important aspect of the series. I think she's cool. Kane is always like a backseat to every other character in the human village, but she has a very interesting aspect to her that none other do. Her therianthropy is something that other characters don't really have at all. Also, the fact that she can just eat history. What the fuck does that even mean? I don't know. Apparently Zun doesn't either because he never does anything with it. Piece of shit. Anyway, I do wonder if my opinion of Kane is inflated by the idea of what she could be versus what she actually is. But again, I don't hate Kassan, but I'm clicking her. Okay. Quick. Yumeko is A character who shows up with Alice and Shinky. Is that a bad way to say it? Yeah, but she really is, to me, she's more often than not just a third wheel to that particular dynamic, and it's just like, if she's there, it's whatever. If she's not, I don't particularly care either. And then Reimu, I love Reimu. I love Reimu. Reimu is such a good character. Reimu can do so much and so little at the same time. She is a great character. I like her very much a lot, yes. She looks good. She has, you know, different aspects to her. She can be serious. She can be silly. She can be goofy. She can be, you know, just greedy, opportunistic. She's kind of a bastard. She's aloof. There's a lot of different ways you can present Reimu. And I also really like the idea of her. This is just a personal thing, mind you, but I really like the idea of her kind of like how I like Letty, of being a bit of a caretaker type character to the smaller characters in the series, just because they never leave her the fuck alone. But Reimu's not like cold-blooded. She doesn't just fucking like beat them over the head. So she just kind of puts up with it and grows an attachment to it, much to how much she wants to admit it. It happened, and she doesn't like, you know, she doesn't like to really admit it, but it just happens. And I like that aspect of Reimu a lot when that pops up. A lot of people like her. A lot of characters like her. And, you know, she's not very honest, but she's a good person overall. She's great. She's great. She's fantastic. Wow, you had a lot of positive to say about Reimu, didn't you? Well, I mean, yeah. How much negative can you say about her? Who cares about Singyoku? Wagasaki Hime is neat, but I do wish there was a little bit more to her character aside from just Mermaid in the Misty Lake. Shizuha is a character. Yashie is a cornball. Alright, so when Yashie came out in 17, it was like, whoa, she's a big deal. She's scary. She gets her way. She's a big boss. And Charismatic Purgatory Goddess came out and was like, whoa, that bitch scary. And then 19 came out and it was the shit on Yashie game. Every time Yashie did anything, it was like, haha, you fucking twit, you dumbass, you piece of shit. And I love B10's ending. When she goes back, she goes to former hell and Yashie is there and Yashie is just balled up. And she's like, oh man. She felt so bad for her as she joined up with the Alliance. And it's very funny. And I just think it's very funny how she got set up as such a serious and conniving character in 17, and then Zun took the ever-loving piss out of her in 19. Just fucked her right up, man. Didn't give her anything. She didn't get it's like she just manipulated the whole game just completely. Also, she knows Ron, which is interesting. In the Cola chapter, she actually contacts Ron and gets her to help with the Beast Realm, but there's no mention of Yukari in that. Kind of neat. It's actually kind of neat. I don't know how exactly Yashie was able to get into contact with Ron, but it wasn't just Yuma who knew who Ron was prior to becoming a Yakumo. That chapter essentially established that. That is the most interesting, if not the only interesting part of that entire chapter, because it's mostly just a chapter about fucking talking about AI in an extremely overblown proportion. It's not even entertaining as a chapter. But it does put these two, both Ron and Yashie, together as they knew each other. So I think Ron was actually a pretty big deal in the animal realm, which makes sense because she's Yukari Shikigami, right? So just more than Yuma knew her. But Yuma was a old pal of her, where Yashie probably just kind of knew of her. I don't know. It's hard to say for sure, but it's cool because it adds more characterization to Ron as well. And as I said, I mentioned earlier in the stream about how some of the animal spirits were deserters of the animal realm because they didn't like how it was, especially compared to how it is in Gensokyo. And we know that Ron left the animal realm because she didn't like the way things were done. So Ron was a very early character, a big name character of the animal realm for sure, since she's on name-based terms with these hotshots of the animal realm, right? But she got sick of how it was operated, so she bailed. Ended up finding Yukari at some point, became her Shikigami, right? Hard to say for sure. It's not fully there, but it is cool that Ron has some type of establishment within the animal realm's characters in some degree, to a point where Yuma knew her and considered her a friend, and B, Yashie knows her, is able to contact her, and there's like a mutual respect to it. She's not controlling Ron, she's not manipulating Ron, she's simply asking Ron for assistance. And a character like Yashie, for what she's known for, that would suggest a pretty like equal standing in terms of and obviously we know that Ron's position as Yukari's Shikigami plays into that as well, right? Ron's role as Yukari Shikigami plays into the idea that she is very strong all the same, but it's still cool to see her interact with Yashie. Interacting with Saki probably wouldn't do too much to her, but you know. But anyway, the point was Yashie got clowned on in 19, and it made her a lot more endearing. We mentioned earlier that character flaws are what make characters interesting. Yashie in 17 was scary and not inherently flawed. In 19, she got blown the fuck up. Very funny. Made her a lot more interesting to character, in my opinion, because once a character gets blown up like that, you really see everything for what they are, and you just kind of, you grow to like them more. That's all. So I think Yashie over Shizuha. I don't care about Gengetsu at all. Murasa is neat. I wouldn't call her particularly amazing, but I do think she is neat. I'm going to click her here. Zamu and Nue. Alright, well, we're seeing Zamu again. I don't like Zamu. She's stinky. Nue is very neat. I mentioned earlier with Ichiden how I like the idea that she's a little afraid to confront Murasa and Byakuren after what she did to get in the way of it, but everything worked out. She is still a shitter. She's also like a very old-time yokai, referred to as a great yokai. Very big deal character. What are you what are you posting in the chat, brother? In what context? In what context can that emo even be used? God damn it, I got distracted. Now we're gonna wait 5 more minutes for this segment. Come on now. Now you've done it. Anyway, yeah, Nue has a couple different things, but really for the most part, she's just about stirring trouble up and being unidentifiable. I think her design is very slick. It's very nice. Her wings are really cool. And overall, she's just kind of solid aesthetically. I wish there was a little more done with her, but I guess it's kind of hard to do much with her in general. Because she's mostly about not appearing. You know, she doesn't really appear per se, even though she has a couple things that she does. But she really just kind of fucks off after 13, like, entirely. Tojiko. Tojiko is a character who should have gotten more than she got. Narumi is a character who doesn't get much of anything, but I like her because she's sassy. That's straight up the only reason. She's a sassy lady, and I appreciated that, and I actually grew to appreciate her as a character because of that, and now I think she's pretty adorable, so I like her. Takane. Takane is a character that confuses me, because I don't understand why she is as unpopular as she is. It doesn't make any sense to me. The other characters who are down there with her are the old characters, and then Eika. But Takane feels like a perfectly reasonable character who establishes more of a common race in Touhou, the Yamawaro. Also, it's mentioned in her Omake that she's a leader-type character to the Yamawaro, so she's a little more important in that regard. However, the Omake does state that the only reason she's regarded in this role is because she happens to talk a little bit louder than the others, which is probably the same story for Nitori. The Kappas that are more used to public speaking are the ones who are more so delegated for public relations. But Takane is a character who I thought was very neat in idea, and it's really strange to me that she's not nearly as popular as other characters, so going as far as to put her 6th from the bottom. It's very strange. It's very strange to me that she's like that. However, this is compared to Satori, who I already talked about earlier, so there is absolutely no reason to click Now there is a reason to click Takane. Okay. Hisami and Marissa. Alright. My opinion of Hisami is that she's weird. She's weird. Her defining characteristic is that she's weird, and that's great for her. But I don't particularly like that because the character who's so important to her characterization is Zamu, and I don't give a fuck about Zamu. So, yeah. Marissa, my opinion of Marissa is one that makes people upset. I don't particularly care about her. I think she's a fine character for what she does. I respect Marissa, but she always ends up on the back half of these sorters because she just doesn't do anything for me despite that. I like Yuki. I don't know why I like Yuki, but I like Yuki. Do I like her more than Kozuzu? No. Do I like her more than Raisin? Yes. Ellen and Sakuya. I don't really like Ellen. I just kind of feel bad for her. Don't really like her. She is what she is. I move on. Next question. Sakuya is goofy. Sakuya is a goofy character, and sometimes she's a serious character. And I've never really been a huge fan of Sakuya, but I do appreciate the goofy aspect of her character quite a lot. She's never going to be my favorite, but I do appreciate her a lot more than I used to, for sure. Yatsuhashi is a character in Touhou Project. Yeah, that still applies. Patchouli and Yamame. I like Patchy. Patchy's a great character. Patchy does a lot. Patchy does a lot for what, like, her role. She's sassy. She's never in the mood. She's kind of rude sometimes. She's short. I just decided that arbitrarily, mind you. I think she's great. She's a very integral part to Remy's shenanigans. Whenever Remy needs something done, Patchy is usually the one who gets it in gear. Without Patchy, a lot of what Remy does would not exist. She is pretty integral in that regard. Yamame. Now, Yamame, I like Yamame a lot. I think Yamame is a great character. I think she's very cool. I like the idea that she's a very talented carpenter, and that people in the underworld really like her, and that she doesn't just randomly use her poison. She's very smart about it. She's an intelligent lady, and she looks like a sweet potato. So, you know, that's a positive. That's a positive, all right? Now, do I like her more than Patchy? Despite what Patchy has done for the overall series, aesthetically speaking, Yamame and her more bubbly general vibe is more my speed of a character nowadays. I used to be more into the brooding, depressing characters, and then I turned 18. I'm kidding. It's a joke. But I did used to like the characters who were a lot quieter, more like gloomy. But, you know, as I got older, I did come to appreciate the characters who can really bring they really bring the color into the scene. Characters like Yam can really just, they shine a light into a dreary scene, and it's like, oh, that's good. Just a reminder that things are good. Things are good. Things are nice. So I'm clicking Yam. I don't like Eren, and Rukoto is barely a character. But I still like her more than Eren. No, because Eren does actually enable some things, so she's more relevant. So at least when I see her, maybe she can make something happen, but Rukoto is... Who the fuck cares about Rukoto? Bro, who cares about either of these characters? No one cares about either of them. Fuck them. I'm clicking Shingyoku. Oh my god. The winner's POV here, bro. The winner's POV. Ellie and Sarah. I don't care about Sarah. Ellie, I appreciate a little more because of Fantasy Maiden Wars more than anything, but even then I didn't use her. I think she's kind of a cornball. Man, you love that word right now, don't you, streamer? Sure do. Sure do. She's goofy, though. She is goofy. She's a silly character. I clicked her, by the way. Enoko and Lyrica. Okay, Enoko is great. I actually really like Enoko. Enoko is definitely my favorite character to come from 19 by a large margin. Because I don't like Chiari, I do not like Zamu, and I don't care about Hisami. I like Monkey. I like the Miyuki, but Enoko is definitely my favorite by far. Enoko's design is very swell. I like her aesthetic. I think she's really cool. I think she's great. I do want to see more with her, especially regarding the jewel, because she's pretty much the only character from Zamu's control that actively wants to be relieved from any relation. Like, Biten and Chiari view her in a positive way after she dips on them, but Eneko's like, oh man, she left? Thank God. Like, she felt fine, and then she wants to get rid of the jewel so she can get rid of Zamu's curse. So I like Enoko in that regard. I like in her ending as well how she asks Marissa to try and help, and Marissa keeps trying to fuck with the jewel, keeps getting sent to hell and comes back, tries again, gets sent to hell, comes back, tries again. And she got sent to hell so many times that even the Oni were like, the fuck is this girl doing? Like, even the Oni were impressed by her tenacity because she kept fucking up and then activating the trap which sends you to hell, and then she just come home and try again. She just come home and try again. That's that determination and diligence of Marissa's character that I very much appreciate. But yeah, I think Enoko is very good. And I mean, the diary art does a good job for her as well. And I mentioned earlier, I do like the Prison Rivers, but Lyrica is definitely my least favorite of the three for sure. She's more like a cornerstone to them than anything, but I would say Enoko here for sure. Omachi Hatate. I've never really been a Hatate fan. That hasn't really changed. I don't hate her per se, but it's just not my character. Komachi's great. Oh man. Komachi is great. Do I even have to say anything about Komachi? No, I don't. I don't have to say anything at all. Yoshika, I don't care about Yoshika. And Mei Ling, I tend to just feel bad for Mei Ling because I think that a lot of the time she can be portrayed very positively and very strong. She can be very cool, very strong, very caring, a great role model character for pretty much everybody in the SDM, usually Flan, but always ends up being some type of joke character, which I don't particularly like. I think it's the worst aspect of Mei Ling's character is the prominence of the joke role, when she has so many good other roles she can fulfill within that dynamic. And like I said, my favorite is actually where she ends she's more of a moral compass type character for like Flan, teaching her things about the world, rights and wrongs and stuff like that. You know, she is to Flandre as Sakuya is to Remilia, essentially. Don't worry about anything else. Squishy and Elise. So, I'm not a Squishy boy. I never have been, and I never will be. No. Not me. Not me, not her. But I do think she's goofy, and I do laugh when she does the funny emotes. So, I gotta give it up. Dayose and On. I like Dayose a lot. I like Dayose a lot because to me she's like the only fairy we've ever had established that actually has I wouldn't say intelligence, but I consider her more mature. She's more mature, she's quicker to flee, she's not hot-headed. I wouldn't call her an intellectual, mind you, but she's definitely wiser than her friends. And I appreciate that kind of character. She really feels like the character who really brings the whole group together, you know, keeps it from destructing. When characters like Cherno and Wriggle and Mystia and Rumia, they're all kind of stupid in their own way, but Dai is the glue that holds it together when Letty's not there, because Letty is actually the glue that holds it together. She is actually the glue that holds it together, but Dai is like the stand-in of equal standing, but they all have a respect for Dayose. But Dayose never really acts on the idea that she has any form of authority over them, but and her lack of confidence makes her not really put her own ideas forward as often as she probably should. But all the other characters do respect her words, so whenever she does talk, they listen, even if it doesn't immediately feel like that. You know, it's like one of those smaller things. But obviously when Letty talks, it's like, oh, Letty's the big lady. Listen to her. But when Dai talks, it doesn't feel... She doesn't have as much weight as Letty, but they still listen to her. That's how I feel about Daiose. That's my particular Daiose. Why are you saying no? Why are you saying no? You know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you say. No, no, no. Don't you no me. Don't you no me. My opinion is my opinion, and I like it. I like my opinion a lot. Chad, I like Shinky. Did you know that Shinky is Alice's mama? Sometimes, maybe, possibly, unknown. Who can say? Possibly, who can say? I don't know. I don't know. No, I like Shinky a lot. I've given my spiel about Shinky. Fantasy Maiden Wars this year was huge for Shinky in general, but it didn't really change my opinion of her because I already really liked her, but it did a great job with using her. Nitori is kind of just a character for me. She's fine. She's fine. She's a fine character, but doesn't beat out Shinky at all. Yuma and Yuyuko. I like Yuyuko. Yuyuko is a silly lady. She is a silly lady, but I really, really like Yuma. I can't even really explain. See, I think it's funny to me because when they first mentioned Yuma originally, it just in hearsay from like Yashie and whatnot, I thought of her as like a more refined type character. The type of character who puts on a display of elegance but is kind of cold-hearted. And then when Yuma actually showed up and she was a fucking 4'2" goat lady who's just like, yep. Like she just has this big toothy smile and she just does whatever the fuck she wants without a care of anyone's opinion on it. I was like, this is so far from my mental image that it's not even funny. And then pretty much instantly after that, I was like, you know what? She's actually pretty awesome. And then that was it. And that was pretty much it. And then I really liked her. But Yuyuko is a classic. You can't go anywhere without Yuyuko. People love Yuyuko. Yuyuko's great, but no, I really like Yuma. Do I like... Goodbye, Cherno. Bye-bye, people. Bye. I clicked Yuyuko. Kaguya, I'm not really a fan of. Nazrin, I'm a bigger fan of than I don't really know why, but maybe it's just because I think that her aesthetic is very pleasing. I like the little rat bastard. I like the little rat bastard. I think she is pretty great. Is she funny? Not really. It's more so her sass. I think it's just her sass. There's something about her overall design that's just appealing to me. Does that make me... Is that a bad thing? Maybe. Maybe it is. Who knows? But I like her. And yeah, Kaguya is just kind of whatever to me. I don't like her more endearing character portrayals. I don't like her insane portrayals. And I just kind of view her as not super interesting. Mamizo is a character from Touhou Project. Yes. Yes. I clicked Kikuri. Parsi and Mimi. I do not give a fuck about Mimi-chan, dude. Who cares? Parsi I really don't care about either, but, you know. Alright. My opinion of Letty has shifted positively this year for sure. I really like the aesthetic of her, of being the tired caretaker of a group of a bunch of rambunctious little bastards. And despite how tired she is at all times, she never really gets, like, actually angry at them. She sighs a lot. She looks angry all the time, but she never actually, like, yells at them. She doesn't raise her voice. She's too tired to raise her voice, mind you. But you just assume that she's pissed off all the time, and then you talk to her and she's perfectly fine. Perfectly reasonable. Maybe a little snappy, maybe a little cranky, but she's perfectly reasonable, despite looking like she would bite your fucking head off. You see her running around with 5 kids on a leash? It's just like, oh no. She's got shit going on. Ravenous children. Kurumi is a cute design, but ultimately not much more than that. Funny Frog wins out every time. I like her design more. I do not like Yorihime, and I never will. Orin and Medicine. I have come to appreciate Medicines more than I used to, but ultimately, I don't care about her. She's underutilized. A lot of portrayals of her are samey in the sense that they work off of her and build off it. I think Fantasy Maiden Wars does a very good job of their character and building towards character growth, but the fact that Zun kind of threw her away after Touhou 9, which is really ironic when you think the whole ordeal with her began because she was tossed away. But like, God, man. Sure, Yuka met the same fate, but Yuka was from a different era entirely, and she's fine with that. Komachi came back. Eiki came back in different places. Aya is Aya, but Medicine was just like, nah, see you later. Goodbye. Orin's great. She may smell like a rotting corpse, but that's fine. We get over these things, you know? When you like the character, you start to mentally get used to the smell, and you attribute it to the character and not the things around them, so it's perfectly fine. Yep, that's all. But in actuality, I like Orin a lot. I like the idea that Orin is very popular and well known in the former Hell, and she's also extremely reckless. I do like her quite a bit. Oh, it's like that, huh? No, I was joking. I was joking. I was taking a shot because I knew somebody would latch on. Someone took the bait. Easy hook, line, and sinker. I didn't even have to put the good bait on, man. I just threw the hook with no bait at all, and you still bit. He still bit. Too easy. Click this theme. Alright. We will remember this. Who's we? Who's we? Alright, I talked about Shimada earlier. Akyu. I definitely said this a number of times, but one of the best things that happened to Akyu was her being a secondary character to Forbidden Scrollery, for sure. She's not dead. She's fine. That's... God, that is the worst fucking emote I've ever seen. That is the worst emote I've ever seen, bro. Oh, man. No, I'm not gonna add it. No. You have to pay me to add that. You don't want soy jacks in this chat, boys. You don't want it. No, you don't. Oh, shit. Wait, it's New Year. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. It's New Year, chat. It is January 1st. January 1st, 2025. I missed it by a whole minute. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, man. And we're 11% done. 11%, boys. 11%. Oh, boy. Whoa! Peepo! Whoa! Alright, goodbye everybody, end stream. Alright. Alright, what was I saying? Right, Akyu. Akyu's characterization and contrast with Kozuzu is great in Forbidden Scrollery, and I like that a lot about her. I think that's great. Shimada's funny. That's pretty much the end of her. Thank you, Jeff, for the gifted sub. Kana's neat, but I love Ruma. I love Rumia. She is the best. She is the best. I don't think I can say, like, if I sit here and explain why I like Rumia, I could probably extend the runtime longer than you want to be here, chat. So maybe I move on. Maybe I move on. Alright. Rika and Aya. Rika's cool. This is just the song. It's gonna end in like 2 minutes. Aya. Always Aya. I like Aya. Genji? I like Genji more. I do. Michael and Nemuno. I don't really care about Nemuno at all. Michael, I kind of just feel bad for, but I think her name is funny. But ultimately, there are other cats in the series. And maybe this is why she's not as popular as those other cats. She really just feels like a third cat. Her individuality is there, but I guess it's just harder for her to stand out. That's all. Seidan and Star. I'm still not. I don't care about Seidan. I still don't. I really don't. I'm not gonna try and tell you and explain to you what it is about the character. Blah blah blah. I don't care. I don't care. Plain and simple. She showed up in 19. She got some more characterization. That's cool. I don't care. Who cares? Nobody cared. Nobody fucking cared. It's Seidan. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Anyway, Renko and Bem Bem. Renko is a character who shows up sometimes, and I deal with it. Okay. Alright, at least Mioi is kind of cute. Ooh. Suika and Tenchi. This is a kind of hard one. I like these characters both a lot. My opinion on Suika has definitely mellowed out a lot more, if only because Lotus Eaters. The way she's established in canon is not the way I personally like as much as Fanon. Whereas Tenchi's actually established personality in canon come Wildhorn Hermit was exactly what I like to see in the character. So much more so than the Fanon, which is it's very interesting. The thing is, when I say I like Tenchi, it has no bearing on the other characters around her. I'm talking from a more individual standpoint for her in this case. I don't care about Shion, and Tenchi with Shion, I don't give a shit. But Tenchi as a standalone character is great. I think she's fantastic. I like her a lot. Definitely my kind of character. I have clicked Tenchi. Miko and Seiga. I do not like Seiga. That will never change. I think Miko is pretty cool. Hiso Tensoku is great when you imagine him a giant robot and not a giant balloon. Otherwise, who cares? Ome. Why am I getting a message? Omi. Luis. Snai and Yugi. Yugi has never been my kind of character. Also, I think her debut outfit just doesn't do her any favors. Her blue kimono is great. Don't get me wrong. It's fantastic. Snai is a character I never really appreciated. I think she's kind of funny because when I first saw her, she's the most character in the entire series for me. Because the first time, a lot of early appearances of her that I was exposed to was fan stuff, right? And I was like, okay, there's a green lady that I have to expect to show up at some point, right? There's a green lady who will show up. And then she shows up in Mountain of Faith, and I was like, oh, that's her? Like, I was really caught off guard. Because I was just like, oh, that's not what she looks like. That's really not what she looks like at all. It baffled me how different she looked. I wish Sanai stood a little more on her own 2 feet. That might be my biggest issue with her as a character, is how she doesn't do a whole lot of her own volition. Most of what she does is for the sake of the gods or something else. But her individuality as a character, I feel, lacks a little bit, which is a shame. Also, you never really get to explore the aspect of her that was hesitant to leave the outside world, right? There's a whole aspect to her character never explored, simply glossed over. At least she's having a good time against Okyo. But I wish there was more done with her and a little more freedom of action, because pretty much everything she does is just a matter of Kaneko said go do this, or Suwako said go do this. And that's why, that's the primary motivation for her actions is for that. And it makes sense for her role, but similar to like Ron, I wish she had a little more, I wish she had a little bit more freedom to do what she wanted. Not like she doesn't enjoy what she does, mind you, but Reimu is different because Reimu only does what Reimu wants. Reimu only ever does what she wants. Whereas Sanai is the opposite, where she only really does what her gods want. I mean, there's a number of like parallels to the two characters anyway, and that's just another one to add to the pile. Is she a bad character for it? No, not at all. It's not a bad character at all. It's just my personal, like, as someone who really likes Reimu, like, you see why Sanai being like a polar opposite to Reimu is kind of like afflicting my opinion of her, because so much of what I like about Reimu is completely opposite of how Sanai acts, and it's like, oh, I can still like both, but it's clear from how much I like Reimu which one I like, you know, more in general. Anyway, I click Sanai. Futo, fortune teller. Fortune teller conceptually is great. Bro, why are we posting fucking rainbows in my chat? Bro. Sagame and Chieri. Sagame is only interesting when she's not doing anything relevant. Chieri is silly. That's all I got. Oh, that's all I got. Sagame is only interesting when she has no bearing on anything at all going on, and she can be goofy like that. And Chieri is just funny because she hit you maybe over the head with a fucking chair. That's about it. I click Sagame. Momiji and Eiki. Well, I mean, Momiji is just aesthetically pleasing, more than anything. Do the Glorp rainbow. No, you don't need different colors of Glorp. Unless you change the expression the Glorp is making, we only need one Glorp. That's it. One Glorp. No Glorp. No Blorp. No Alorp. No Yelorp. No Elorp. No, none of that. 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 None of it. No. Doesn't work that way. Momiji. I do not like Severe Echo. Ogu? I think Ogu is pretty swell, but she's really not my character. But it's fine. But it's fine. But it's fine. Mima and Ron. I'm not a Mima guy. I used to be a huge Ron fan. Now I just kind of mellow out with her. Chat, last year sorta took almost 3 hours. Don't worry. I know it says 14%, but I promise you it's gonna start going. Alright? It's gonna start going. It's you, streamer. What do you mean it's me? What? What's me? What's me? Where? What are you talking about, brother? What are you talking about? Lunasa, bro? What? That's... Don't you remember? What? What are you talking about? Anyway, Lunasa is still my favorite Prism River, but honestly, it's very close with Merlin nowadays. Very close. Like, it used to be pretty clear-cut, but I really like Merlin a lot now. I don't even know why. But yeah, Lunasa's still my favorite. And I don't like Shimmy. Sunny Milk! So, I don't like Kaneko, this much we already know. And Sunny is my favorite fairy. I love Sunny. Flandre, Renosuke. Renosuke's cool, but he's mostly just a character who, when he shows up, I go, yeah, that's cool. Flandre shows up and I go, oh my god, boo boo. Maybe, okay, I don't do exactly that. What is this? What is this? What is this? Sure. I don't know why that exists, but now we have it. Kyoko, I think Kyoko is adorable. I'll stand by that. Reisen, Tokiko is Tokiko, but Reisen, a lot of people have Reisen as a favorite character pretty early on. Reisen's still really cool, but yeah, compared to Kotiko, it's not even really a contest. Hmm. 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 Wow. Real fucking contest here, huh? Huh. The fact that I'm stun locked here by this is, kind of impressive. Kind of impressive how stun locked I am by this. God, man. I really don't like either of them. Fine, Chiari wins. Oh my god, is that Yorigami Jun? After 99 battles, her first appearance? Holy shit, I can't believe this! How high would you rank Chiari, your least favorite character? Brother, you know what we're doing right now, right? We're doing a sorter that ranks characters, right? You know, that's what we're doing right now at this moment in time. That's what we're here to find out! Jun is my favorite character because I like Jun a lot. I like every aspect about Jun. I like her dirty personality. I like her nasty attitude. I like that she can punch people really hard. I like that she chooses to punch people really hard. There's not really any aspects to her character I actively dislike. There really isn't. It's great. It's funny because, like, I also really, really like Rumia, and a lot of aspects for Rumia and Jun do not really overlap, but they pretty much hit a lot of the things that I do really like individually from each other, which I think is really neat. The favorite Touhou reflects the fan. Who's your favorite character? I wonder who your favorite character is. How accurately that reflects you, bozo. Can you pronounce her correct? I know how to pronounce Joan's name. I know her name is Joan. I've said this many times, but I don't call her Joan because when I hear the word Joan, I think of the turnip sales lady from Animal Crossing, so I call her Jun, or June. Usually it's Jun, but I like calling her June as well, or sometimes I call her June with the little accent T with the Y. I know how to pronounce her name. I just choose to pronounce it the way I do, similar to how I pronounce Snai as without the A in her name, and I pronounce Nue as Nu. It's just a nickname that I use because I think Joan is an old lady name, and I don't want to call her that, so I call her June. Her name is June, like juniper berry. What does that mean, streamer? It means nothing, to be honest with you. I just felt like saying it. Anyway, I like Jun. Jun is great. Jun is my favorite. I love Jun. Luna and Tsukasa. Luna is a pretty great fairy. I like Luna. Luna is great. Key component. Lily White. Oh my god, Lily White. I don't care about Mizuchi at all, and I kind of don't think I will when she's like her series is done either. I'll be real with you. Once CDS is done, I will probably look at Mizuchi and go, okay, and then like nothing will come from it ever again. She's had her chance to be a character, and she's just not a character for me that I care about. Lily, however, oh my god, we love Lily, man. We love Lily. Lily just shows up and she brings happiness. Lily doesn't even have to fucking do anything. That's the power of Lily. Some characters show up and you roll your eyes. Lily shows up and you go, oh my god, Lily White. It's just that simple. It's that cut and dry. You don't even have to feel strongly about it. You just see her and you internally go, oh my god, it's Lily White, and then you move on with your life. It's like, you don't roll your eyes. You just see her and you go, oh, Lily. It's so easy. It's so easy. Merlin and Momoyo. Merlin. Merlin. I said earlier that Merlin is very close to Lunasa nowadays for me. I don't know what it is about her that just it's not the emote. Thank you, Crazy, for the resub, by the way. You resub on both accounts? I don't think... Okay. Anyway. Yeah, it's not the emote that did it, but there's something about Merlin in general. I think it's, like I said earlier, there's something about characters who are more just positive and bubbly that have grown on me. They've grown on me more, right? I still like Lunasa's aesthetic and design and colors more, but Merlin is definitely like just nicer. Just nicer overall, you know? You want to hang out with Merlin. Merlin's pretty great. Minariko and Unzan? Yeah, I'd say Minariko for sure. Clown and Remilia. Clown is great. I like Visionaries a lot. I like Clown's character a lot. I like that despite the fact that she is a really strong character in terms of just characters in general. She's not just strong for a fairy, she's really strong. She's still a bubbly idiot. And she's still a bubbly idiot in Visionaries. She fits it right in with the other fairies, and she gets along really well with them. And just, you know, she's one of the lasses. And that's what I like about her so much. She's great. Do I like her more than Remy? Hell no. Absolutely not. Weaker cheer? No. Alright, brother. Whatever you say, brother. Whatever you say. Why can't they be friends? Why do they have to be enemies? Why do they have to be enemies? Why can't we be friends? Show and Clown? I would say probably Clown. Based on what I just said. More to go off. Oh! Chen is funny. Chen is funny, but Alice is beautiful. You know why Alice is beautiful? Well, I mean, I don't have to explain that to you. Alice is very pretty, and I don't understand why I didn't see it until this year. I really don't. What happened? How was I blind? How was I blind? For so long I was blind. But now I see the light. She is the light. I don't care about Megumu. Sorry to say, Megumu as a character doesn't really interest me at all. She's not endearing like the other Tengus. She's just kind of boring, and that's the long and short of it. That's the long and short of it. Iku, Kongara is cooler in design. Bonky I like. The other thing for blonde streamer, listen, motherfucker. There's like 50 characters in this series alone who have blonde hair. It's like statistically impossible to not like a character who has blonde hair. Okay? That's just how it is. That's just how it is. You can't fight it. You can't fight it. So Raiko's really cool, but I actually have a soft spot for Bonky. I should make it clear though, I absolutely dislike the Bonky. I really dislike the Bonky PV that Akatsuki Records made. I think the song is not good, and I think the PV is stupid. But that gave Bonky some push and popularity, but it mostly just put her in that stupid suit, which I think is a shame. But I like Bonky a lot. I think Bonky is a really neat character. She kind of reminds me of Lunasa in a way, I suppose. But I like her. I like her, and I like what you can do with her with other characters. Raiko independently stands out more, in my opinion, but Bonky's versatility as a character is better overall, and I still really like Bonky's individuality, standalone like Raiko. That's really what it boils down to. Hina! Oh my god, Hina! I mean, I just like saying Hina's name, that's all. I was never really the biggest Hina fan in the world. I'm just saying. I was never the biggest Hina fan in the world. I just think that her name is fun to say. That's all. That's all I'm saying. But I do really like Yomu. Hina I do like a pretty good amount. I think she's a fun character. I don't have strong opinions of her, I suppose, but when I see her, I usually just like saying her name. She's always a net positive appearance, though, for sure. Anytime she shows up, it's a positive, in my opinion. But I don't think my opinion of her has really changed at all before. But neither really has Yomu's, but Yomu's was always pretty high in general. Byakuren and Hina. Again, Byakuren, I like Byakuren's story as a character a lot, so I put her up here. Junko, I think, is really boring as far as character goes. Sometimes she's weirdly adorable, but yeah. And Rikako is a character who aesthetically I really like for some reason, but there's not much to her. But I think aesthetically she's really cool. I actually really like her. So purely on aesthetics here, Rikako is more my my game. Doremi and Kokoro. Kokoro is so funny, dude. Kokoro is one of the funniest fucking characters in the entire series, and I don't even know if she means to be or not. Like, she just... anytime she shows up, I think it's just like the contrast in her writing to her expression is always so perfect. She's just so good at being funny. She really is. One of my favorite skits in all of M1 is Touhou 9. M1 the 9, Miko and Kokoro. Fantastic skit. Kokoro is mad funny, and I just don't get it, man. There's just something about her that fucking tickles me. Right pink whenever she's there. Like, Genso Wander was great. Shoujo Memory was great. Like, every time Kokoro appears in a role, she's just, without fail, makes me laugh. Like, actually. She's really good at that. There's something about her that's just magical. Yumemi and Kawakama. So Yumemi was my favorite PC98 character for quite a long time. It's definitely Shinky now, and that is mostly part to Alice, mind you. That's mostly because of Alice. But Yumemi was a character I thought was really, really cool, and I really liked every aspect of her. However, Kawakama is a great character in her own right when she gets to be a character in fan works, mind you. I'm not really a fan of the overly sexual Kawakama. I like Kawakama when she's a goober, personally. But yeah, I think Yumemi is great. She's not my favorite PC98 character anymore. But I picked Kawakama over her. Satono, I don't give a shit about. Monkey. B10 is fine. B10 is fine, but she is what she is, I suppose. I have no problem with her. She's my second favorite from 19 for sure. Great theme. Monkey aesthetic is fine. The Wukong things, it is what it is, right? She's just, that's the whole point of her. But ultimately, there's not a lot to her, and I think she's neat. So I hope to see more of her in different ways. But as she is, like, Yukari is such an established character for me. As, like, sometimes she's annoying, sure. But Yukari used to be one of my favorite characters, if you can believe it. Very, very early on, she was in my top 3. So, but I like the more less serious depictions of her. And her abilities are cool. Her theme is great. Sometimes she's annoying, for sure. But I mostly like the parts of her that are portrayed as not very serious, more than the ones that portray her as like, ooh, I'm a big deal, ooh. You know, I like when the wind's taken out of her sails more than anything. I clicked her. I clicked Yukari, by the way. Reimu and Moko. Red and white versus white and red. Moko is a cool character. That won't change. I think she is very cool. But unfortunately, there are many other aspects to other characters I like more than just that. And Reimu is Reimu. And Reimu will Reimu is one of my favorites. You like Moko more than you made me, though. Wagasaki and Mystia. I like Mystia a lot. Mystia, even before like this year, Mystia's Izakaya, great game. Really does a lot for the character. Just, she's a simple character that was given a lot of life in a very prominent fan game. And even if you don't like, even if you haven't played it, I still think there's enough about her with her Team 9 related stuff that does paint a nicer picture. Orange, who cares? Oh, goodness. Oh. Pardon me. Murasa, Nue. Aesthetically speaking, Nue. Story-wise, probably Murasa. I think I'd have to give it to Murasa, though, overall. Because I don't think the Murasa isn't aesthetically pleasing like Nue is. But Murasa's story is cooler, and she also has a really cool coat and fights with Giant Anchor, which is just sick. I don't care about Gengetsu. I don't care about Zamu. Marshmallow Girl wins. Sassy Soft Girl wins. No, I'll tell you, man, I really don't have a lot of opinion on Tochiko. I really don't. But I guess I also don't really have an opinion on Takane either. My opinion on Takane is just confusion as to why she's so unpopular. But that doesn't really illustrate why, like, I think she deserves to be more popular. But it's just confusing how unpopular she is. But I'm really not a huge fan of Tochiko. It just doesn't do anything for me. Well, I like her more than Okina. Kozuzu and Marissa? Kozuzu. Yuki and Marissa. Okay, now I said earlier I like Yuki. And I don't really know why, but I wouldn't say I like her more than Marissa because Marissa has done a lot for other characters that I do like. She's so important to other characters. It can't be shaken. I like her more than Hisami though. I don't like Raisin. I think Raisin's boring. Soft Yuka, yep. Sakura over Ringo for sure. Ringo over Ellen. See, this is the part where we start moving, chat. Because now we're getting matchups that are like, who cares? I can just kind of filter, and I can talk about the ones that really matter. So now we're moving. Streamer, it's been almost 2 hours. What do you mean, now we're moving? Well, there's a lot of characters in this series, and I like talking about them. If you couldn't tell, I really like talking about them. And you're here, and you listen to me talk about them. So I get to talk about them, and you listen. That's great. That's a great thing for me. I would say, anyway. Also, my throat is sore. I've been talking too much. Ugh. Alright. Definitely Yams. Definitely Patchy. Definitely Enoko. Definitely Lyrica. Definitely Sariel. Komachi. Definitely Komachi. Definitely Mailing. Hitate. Dayose. On. Koishi. Ellie. I don't really like Kotohime at all. She's just kind of a weirdo in my opinion. She really is just a weirdo. But unclick her to me. Ooh, rough. Now, I did say a little bit ago that Shinki has moved up to be my favorite PC98 character. Mostly by extension for Alice. But that does play a big role in it for sure. But Fantasy Maiden Wars, again, citing as an example, the way that Shinki's character was done in Fantasy Maiden Wars was spectacular. The whole story with how Shinki and Alice were as a family, and I guess by extension Yumeko, like, was very, very good. Even though it touched more so on Alice than it did Shinki, it really played into the parts of Shinki that I like the most. It really did. But Yuma is But Yuma is awesome, bro. But Yuma is awesome. Oh, but Yuma is awesome. Yuma is one of the most unexplainable characters that I like, I think. I mean, I've explained it a couple times, mind you, but like, I just don't really understand why I like her as much as I do. Because she really doesn't feel like my kind of character in a lot of ways, but there's just something about her that fucking hits right where it needs to. But I think I have to give it to Shinky. I think I have to give it to Shinky because I didn't get to mention it when back with Rumia, because I really thought I would be going on way too long. But for Rumia in particular, one of the best aspects, one of my most favorite aspects of Rumia is the idea of her being like Reimu being a caretaker to her. As you've seen that in my art over the year as well, I've drawn a couple pictures of the two of them together. That's one of my favorite aesthetics, the mother-daughter aesthetic. It's quickly become one of my favorites, and it's obviously at its strongest with Shinky and Alice. So, there you go. Wow, streamer, you're getting older, and now you're developing a bigger interest in family. Funny how that works, huh? But yeah, that particular aesthetic is one of my favorites in general. And I like the Rumia and Reimu one, and obviously Shinky and Alice. So, yeah. Kinda sus, won't lie. No, it's called growing up, dude. It's called getting older. I'm getting older. Understanding the value of parent and child. That's all. That's all it is. That's all it is. Anyway, I'm clicking Yuma. I'm clicking Yuyako. I'm clicking Cherno. And I'm clicking Nazrin. And I'm clicking Mayumi. And I'm clicking Kaguya. And I'm clicking Letty. And I'm clicking Parsi. And I'm clicking Kasume. And I'm clicking Mimi-chan. Oh, pardon me. Old. Listen, man, you when you get older, some parts of you change and mellow out. And I guess a part of me, like, the thing is, I've always kind of liked those stories anyway. Like, Usagi Drop, the anime, not the manga. Stuff like that kind of thing where single parent has to take on the responsibility of both parents. The single father aspect with the young daughter one usually gets me pretty effectively. But obviously Touhou can't really do that, so it's more about the mother-daughter aesthetic, which is still... It's still good. It's still good. Still hits the right spot, but that is one of my favorite dynamics in general, is the struggling, not really able, doing their best type of character to be a parent, to the not fully understanding, developed, appreciative even, smaller character, you know? They do their best for them. They do everything in their power for them, and you just kind of get to see the young innocent ones interact in their scenarios, and it's just nice, you know. Innocence is really precious, and it's nice to see these adults work so hard to preserve this innocence, keep these children from going through such rough times as a result. That's why I don't like things like Madoka. I don't like when innocence is tainted like that. Things that are innocent should stay innocent. They really should. That's what I like. Yeah, Renosuke does a good job with the role as well for like Marissa. He's like an older brother type character for Marissa. That's a pretty prominent one. But Marissa's a little different than like Rumia, for example, because it's like Rumia is itty bitty and then Reimu is disgruntled. Letty and Cherno is kind of one, but I also kind of consider Letty the whole group. Marissa is more grown up, but then you have Alice and Shinky. So what's funny about Alice and Shinky versus like Renosuke and Marissa is that Marissa and Renosuke are both adults, and while Marissa is prone to Marissa things, they're still like they still communicate with each other like fairly as equals. But then whenever it comes to Shinky and Alice, a lot of the time it's Shinky has no idea how to communicate with her daughter and just embarrasses the shit out of her. That shit cracks me up. that shit cracks me up. Like they're just the way they are with each other. But my personal favorite is definitely like Reimu and Rumia type of deal. That one. Especially the type of character that they are. Rumia is just a ball of energy, and then Reimu is just, you know, disgruntled all the time. Reimu's kind of mean to a lot of people, but she's not actually mean. I think Mei-Ling and Flan is a good one as well. Mei-Ling and Flan is kind of like older sister dynamic as well. More than mother, I suppose. Sometimes Sakuya kind of has a motherly aesthetic to her, to Remilia. Alright. Alright, anyway. These two characters, I got distracted again. These two characters, Suiko and Tei, I like both of them pretty equally because they're both kind of silly. But I suppose when either of them shows up, usually when it's Suiko, I get a bigger giggle out of it. That's all. I get a bigger giggle out of it. Oh man. Alright, I like Tei, Wriggle, Kurumi, Mugetsu, Orin, and Akyu. Big respect to Akyu. I like Orin though. I do like Orin a lot. Akyu, Shimada, Medicine. Oh, look at that. Still watching? Sure am. Alright. Aya and Rumia. So as I just mentioned with Rumia, yeah, a big aspect I like of her character for sure is what I mentioned with the... But that also is a dynamic that relies on another character. Granted, it's one of my favorites, but Rumia herself is a very simple character. And that simplicity to her is the most refreshing aspect to her, I find. A lot of characters in Touhou tend to be more than they need to be, and Rumia is just... She's just Rumia, I suppose. She's so nothing, but also potentially something that it's just refreshing to just see her go out and do something stupid. You know? It's just, she just shows up and you're like, oh, Ruma. You know, it's just a good time. I never feel perturbed by her antics. She really is just a character in this crazy world of crazy power levels and crazy abilities. Rumia is just... She's just Rumia, dude. She's just Rumia. And that's great. I like all the different things that fans have done for her, for sure. All the different fan works that have established more to her character. The ideas of what her character could potentially be behind that ribbon. But as far as most things go, I really do like her for her extremely simple nature. And I think her design is aesthetically very pleasing. It's just... She's just a small little blonde child. And that's just all she needs to be, you know? It's not complicated. It fits for her supposed power. It just works for her. It just works for her. It works out in her favor. And I already talked about Aya, and I like Aya a lot. Aya has her own flaws as a character, particularly every appearance she's made in Lotus Eaters. I'm joking, don't kill me. But Aya is definitely far from a perfect character, and there are some interpretations of Aya that I'm not particularly a fan of, like the ones that are more perverted, more of a paparazzi or a risque photo taker type of deal. But for the most part, I like Aya a lot in most of her capacities. But there's really not much of anything negative I can say about Rumia, like at all. I just can't. Speeding up the clicks. Star and Michael, stars. Michael and Saki, Michael. Nemono and Saki. Seida Nemono Seiden. Tenchi Benben Tenchi. Sika Benben Sika. Eternity Larva Benben. Mioi Larva. Shion Miko. Sega Shion. Luis Hisotensoku. Futo and Snai. Both of these characters are silly little lasses. Although I think Futo makes me laugh a little bit more when she shows up. She does make me laugh a little bit more when she shows up. She is sillier in a couple of different ways. I'd give it to Futo in this one. Sanai. Again, conceptually, Fortune Teller is a cool character. I actually really do like. Momiji and Sagume. Momiji. Oh my god, bro. What are these messages? I can't even see them. Sagume and Eiki, Seija, Sagume. Now, speaking of mother-daughter dynamics, this is a rare one, mind you. This is one that's not, obviously, it's not canon. It's just hearsay, theory, blah, 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 blah. But Sagume and Seija having some form of relationship is an interesting one that I think if I ever really wanted to do anything with these characters, I would probably do that for them. Just because, like I said, I tend to value that. I tend to value that character dynamic more than others nowadays. More than others. And I'd much rather do that than make some images with her with Shimmy. I don't know, man. What's wrong? What's wrong with families getting along? This fucking theme has appeared again. What's wrong with just making a theme? That's not the one I wanted, actually. I want this one. This one's the better one. This one's so good. What's wrong with just having families be happy with each other, man? What's wrong with that? I would say I like Sagume more. Chiori. Ogu or Hikatia? I actually might have clicked Hikatia like 3 weeks ago. This fucking stupid bird. This stupid bird, dude. This stupid bird. Oh. Oh. I can at least appreciate that Sumireko has done more than Mai has, but goddamn. Ron or Lunasa? I still have a lot of positive for Ron, and again, back to familial relationships. The Yakumo family relationship is a weird one, for sure, but my favorite interpretation is definitely Ron being the doting mother to Chen, and you know, sometimes Yukari sees that, and Yukari kinda doesn't treat Ron the same way, but they do have a similar dynamic, but it's less immediate, so the few moments where you actually see some type of affection like that hits all the harder. I like the aesthetic where the Yakumo family is a family, and they all get along, and they have their issues for sure, but you know, it's good. It's better that way. It's better that way. It's better that way. Mima, Lunasa. Shimmy or Mima? Mima. No! Don't make me pick! How are you gonna make me pick? Flandre Scarlet or Sunny Milk Scarlet Mist Incident. You know, both of these characters have had the theme You and Owen. Did you know that? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Unexpected, isn't it? You knew that? You only know that because I told you. Alright, be honest. Alright, No, Sunny is my favorite fairy. Sunny is a character I want to pick up and spin her around in a circle. Streamer, you said that earlier. Yeah, but I feel like that's the best way to really, like, illustrate how I feel about the character, is the desire to pick them up and spin them in a circle. You know? Like, wouldn't you... What would you consider the ultimate form of affection here, if not doing that? that's... That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's all. You say, oh my god, hi! You know? Should've thought you and Owen version was Sunny's only theme. That might be true. I don't know, actually. But I know she has Sunny Rutile Flexion. That's her actual theme. And then Sunny Milk Scarlet Incident is the beginning of that theme, and then it bleeds into you and Owen for some fucking reason. I don't know why it does that. Anyway, I'm picking Sunny Milk. I'm definitely picking anyone that isn't Kanako. Reisen. Tokiko is funny. Tokiko is one of the most non-characters in the entire series, but sometimes she appears, she gets a giggle out of me. She really does. My favorite character trope is that she has a grudge against Reimu. So anytime she has to interact with Reimu, she treats her so sarcastically. She's like, oh great, this bitch. She does not like Reimu and Marissa. She just doesn't. Because they were assholes to her, so now she gets payback. She's petty. She's petty, man. She's petty. Hey, it's miraculous she's even got to be a character. She was made back in the days where any character showed up, got all kinds of shit to them, which is why she's allowed to be in the situation she's in despite having, like, nothing at all. Yorgami-jun or Luna Child. Hard choice, hard choice. Ooh, that's... Lunasa? Luna. Not Lunasa. Luna or Kogasa? It's definitely Kogasa. Kagero or Luna? Definitely Luna. Kagero over Tsukasa. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Oh man. Okay, but you have to think about it like this. If you were to turn the corner and you came face to face with one of these characters, who would elicit the more positive response? Right? Streamer, it's her season. What? No, it's not. It's January 1st. But who would elicit the more immediate response, right? Right? I mean, it's probably Lily. I mean, Lily's just Lily, man. Lily's design is it's very simple, straightforward, and like aesthetically pleasing. You know, it's just a good design. She's a great name, great ability, just great attitude about her. So when you see her, you can't help but just smile. Oh, when I see that character, I can't help but frown. You're really, really, really making me pick here, aren't you? No, I do not care about Mizuchi. Wemmy, I like Wemmy. Clown, I do like more than Minariko. Not to say I don't like Minariko, but she's not really my type of character, I suppose. She's fine, but for the most part, she's just a character for me that exists, and I see her and I go, oh, okay, there's Minariko. Alice and Iku. Alice, Chen and Iku. Chen. Yomu and Bonky. Definitely Yomu. Bonky or Byakuren? Byakuren. Hina or Bonky? Bonky. Raiko or Hina? Ooh, that's... Oh my god, hi Hina! No, shit. Nah, probably Raiko. Hina here, though. Kokoro for sure. Doremi gets a chuckle out of me more than she should. Rikako over Maribel. Junko over Maribel. Ooh, Kwakama or Kane? Probably Kwakama. Yumemi or Kane? Another red versus blue. Damn, man. Every time Kane shows up, she's against a red character. Like a cleanly red character. Kane. Yumemi over Kasen, actually. Reimu Yukari? No contests. Moko Yukari? Definitely Moko still. Definitely Yukari. Yeah, it'd be 10. It's such an interesting thing, because like I said, I like Shinki and Alice a lot, but for me, Yumeko always just feels like an extension of their relationship, and never really a part of it, which is a really shitty thing to say, because there are, like, Fantasy Maiden Wars had a really good, like, idea, the idea that Yumeko is like Alice's big sister, and at first she's a little cold to that information, but she kind of warms up to it. She's very serious, she's very no-nonsense for sure, but I just don't really care about Yumeko, I suppose. I guess she's a little too uptight for my liking, and that's mostly because when I look at their dynamic, I look at Shinki as an absolute dork, but like Yumeko kind of wrangles in the more extreme aspects of what you could do for a Shinki, where it's not as fun as if Shinki is completely unrestricted. When Shinki is unrestricted to embarrass the ever-living shit out of Alice, that's top-notch. That's top-notch, boys. That's top-notch. See, Sakuya is the first maid to appear that had the air of dignity to her, but then as more of her appeared, it was like, oh, she's actually a fucking idiot as well. But an idiot in a fun way, you know? But Mugetsu and Yumeko didn't get to appear past their initial stiff depictions, and Rukoto doesn't really count. But Sakuya appeared kind of stiff and silly looking, but she mellowed out a lot, and that was part of her characterization in general, was her mellowing out, learning to get along with humans again. You know, stuff like that. But I picked Mistia here. Wagasaki Hime. The characters I like the most are the ones that I feel like I could realistically say hello to, and they would wave back at me and say hello as well. Those are, and you know, not do it because they want something from me, but do it because they're just nice characters. Wow, streamer, you like when girls are nice to you? Yeah, right? That's my fantasy, boys. That's my fantasy. Galore for despair. No, but there's actually a pretty small number of characters that like Wagasaki, who, you know, you can really get that kind of feeling from, right? I just like when characters are nice. You know, they're nice without too many ulterior motives. That's all. Satori, I want to squish Satori. What does that mean, streamer? It means I want to poke her cheek with my finger, and then she will cast PTSD on me, because that's what she does. Activate trauma dump, and then I succumb. And well, that sucks. That's how it had to be, boys. That's how it had to be. Marasa, Nue, Narumi, Takane, Tojiko. Oh my god. No, I really don't like Okina. Ooh. Okay, Okina. Kozuzu and Yuka. No, I think it's probably Yuka now. I really do. Kozuzu is a precious little lass. Sakuya, Marissa, Yuki, Ringo, Yatsuhashi, Isami, Evelyn, ooh, Yamame, Patchouli, Enoko, Lyrica, Sariel, Ellie, Eden, Sara, ooh, Okina Dayose. Sorry, Onozuka Komachi Dayose. Dude, Ultimate Truth. Sorry, Border of Life. Ultimate Truth is stage theme. Border of Life just ain't it. Too loud. Well, I think this is 1970 actually. Yeah, this is 1970, but it reminded me of Border of Life. It's kind of loud. Dayose. If you can believe it. If you can believe it. On. Komachi. Meiling. Koishi. Ellie. Hatate. Any. Okay. Alright, moving on. Ooh, okay. Definitely Shinki. Definitely Yuma. Nazrin. Yiko. Chirno. Nitori. Ooh. Suako. I think it's probably Letty now. Tay. Ringle. Parsi. Kurumi. Kisume. Mugetsu. Imi-chan. Oh. Alright, I'll give you one. Where's the Silent Sinner in Blue track? I really like that one. There you go. This track slaps. This track is so fucking good. Alright. So yeah, Sanyo and Yorihime. I don't like either of these characters. For different reasons, mind you. I actually dislike them for two very different reasons. But I guess if I had to pick which one I liked more than the other, it's Yorihime. Rumia and Oren. Rumia. Aya, Oren, Akyu, Shimada, Genji, Medicine, Keiki. Wrong answer, streamer. Bro, listen. They look identical. For all you know, I clicked the other character. Alright? For all you know, I clicked Sanyo and not Yorihime. You wouldn't know, because they look exactly the same. Alright? You wouldn't even know. Tenchi and Star. Tenchi, Seeker, or Star, Seeker. Star, Michael, Ben, Saki, Eternity, Seiden, Miyoi, Renko. Ooh. How about? It's actually not that hard. It's Futo. It's pretty confidently Futo. Snai. Yeah, I'd say Snai. Miko, Fortune Teller, Shion, Yuki, Luis, anybody that's not. Whoa. Undo. Whoa. Slow down, brother. Slow down. Anybody that's not Mai suddenly changed when I saw the other character who looks suspiciously like Mai. Oh boy. Do I really like Mai less than Sega? Yes, I do. Momiji Ogu, Momiji Ogu, Hekatia, Aki, the fish, anyone that's not you. Ooh. Okay. Actually, it's not hard, bro. I would say I love the fairies, but in actuality, I love like a couple of the fairies, and then all of their friends by extension. I'm like, yeah, these are great too. But there really are only a couple fairies I really truly like. And then the other ones are just like, yeah, they're there too. They're great. Fantastic. Love them. Sunny milk. Ooh. 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 Fuck you? What do you mean, fuck you? What do you mean? You just assume that I'm talking about your favorite character? Huh? I'm talking about my favorite character. Unbelievable. Alright. Do I like Ron or Fawn more? Probably Fawn. Ron. Lunasa, Kyoko, Renosuke, Mima, Shimmy, Kaneko. Definitely Jun. Six shots of rum in, bro. I stopped drinking like an hour ago. I have stopped drinking an hour ago. I am not having a repeat of Christmas. Not happening. Fucking not happening. No. That was so bad. That was terrible. Week? Brother, I threw up 3 times. And one of those was a dry heave. It was torture. Fucking torture. I am not doing it again. Dude, when I woke up at 8 o'clock, my fingers were tingling. I couldn't even appreciate the hilarity of it because my head was pounding and I had to go throw up again. It was terrible. I don't want to do that again. I will not do it again. So true. Brother, you better be careful. You better be careful. You have a better alcohol tolerance than me, but you do not want to be in that situation. That was terrible. That was my holiday, dude. That was my fucking Boxing Day. It was just dead. It was awful. Bunny or Luna? I like Debunni. I like Debunni. Tokiko, come on, get out of here. Ooh. 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 I think, okay. I think it'd be really funny to watch Ramilia try to have a conversation with Lily. Because Ramilia wants Lily to bring Spring to her house, right? That was a plot point in Sengetsu at one point. So imagine Ramilia sits down with Lily and tries to talk to her. And Ramilia is like assured everybody. Because everybody knows that Lily doesn't talk. She goes wee 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 and fires bullets, right? And Ramilia doesn't know this. But she's like, don't worry, I got this. So she goes in, she sits Lily down, starts talking to Lily, trying to convince Lily that, you know, okay, I want you to bring Spring to my house. And Lily's just sitting there with a big smile on her face, and she goes, wee, wee, wee. And Ramilia is just like, kind of looking at her like, what is she, what, huh? But you know Ramilia, she's not about to admit that something's wrong, so she just, you know, gets out and starts talking again, and Lily's just fucking there. Lily's just there, and she's just looking at her. And Ramilia keeps talking, and Lily is not responding. And then when Ramilia finally stops talking, whatever she's yapping about, Lily just goes, wee, wee, wee. And then Ramilia, after like 5 minutes of this, is like, okay, what the fuck? Like, Ramilia's just like, all right, you know what? Whatever. I'm done. This isn't working out. Like, she's not completely frustrated yet. She's only a little bit peeved. But she's just like, you know what, whatever. I'm not interested anymore. You can go. And Lily gets up, walks over to the window, turns around, and goes, goodbye. It was nice talking with you. And then just fucking flies away. Like, she's just gone. Before Remy can say anything, Lily just fucking, she's out there. It's like that episode in Rock Bottom where that guy like ties the balloon to SpongeBob's wrist, and SpongeBob's like, thanks, you. And he just goes, you're welcome. Like, just clean and proper English. Just in proper English. So that means Lily understood the whole time what Ramilia was saying. Kind of. But she just continued to... Maybe she was just so excited to talk to a big shot like Remilia. That's why she did it. And then she just turns around and goes, goodbye. It was nice talking with you. And then she goes away. That's great. Alright. Alright. Anyway, Remilia. Lily. Bubble buddy moment. Yeah, kind of actually, huh? That is a bit of a bubble buddy moment. 2 hours is long enough. He kept us waiting for a bubble. Clown or Merlin? Clown. Show. Merlin. Minorico. Are you kidding me, bro? How did we get back to this one? How the fuck did we get back to this one? Where is Oh, wait, this is a good one. Oh, this is a good fuck. Dude, look at this painting. Holy shit. Wow. This painting perfectly captures the idea of detail, but not detail itself. Like, you can really pull out different structures within this, but when you really look at the individual strokes, it really is just a lot of fucking whatever. But it all just looks like something. Wow. Alright, I got distracted. Alright. He's still trusting the shuffle. I mean, kind of. When I hear it reset to a theme we already heard, I just go in there and I click it manually. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Anyway, Glorp. This is not hard. This is not hard. This is still not hard. This is still not hard. Not difficult in the slightest. Oh, whoops. Bro, I was watching Barbie King, that guy. He started playing Disco Asylum, and I don't know if he liked it or not. I didn't actually watch him play it, but it seemed like he wasn't actually much of a fan of it, which, you know, it kind of sucks when streamer plays your favorite game and they hate it. But yeah, that does kind of stink. But yeah, I think he played it, and I'm not sure if he enjoyed it, to be honest with you. It's a very book-type game. Well, don't ask me, dude. I have no opinion. I'm not particularly interested in the game myself, but I can imagine it would stink if you were like, please play my favorite game, and the streamer plays it, and they're like, well, that was a big piece of shit, wasn't it? And you're just like, oh, that hurts. That hurts. That hurts. As a Disco Asylum fan, for a streamer like you, I don't recommend it. What does that mean? What does that mean, bro? Did I just get insulted? Huh? Stream of the game is really great. That's why I don't think you'd like it. Seems like it's maybe funny, but I'm not invested. I think it's because you have so much freedom of choice in it that it's insane. But it's a big text game. Big text game. Big text game. But it is a very well-known game for sure. Alright, anyway, I'm clicking Quackama, I'm clicking Doremi, I'm clicking Kane, I'm clicking Yumemi, actually. And I'm clicking Rikako, Kassen, Junko, anybody that's not her. Okay, we're almost at the 50% mark, chat. We're gonna go faster now. I promise you we're gonna go faster. We are gonna go faster, we're gonna go faster, we're gonna go faster. I did click Mistia over Moko. I did. Moko, yep. Yukari, yep. Wagasaki, yep. Ooh. Yashie Mingi. Shizuha. Yumiko. Only a little bit, though. Only a little bit. We're going a little bit faster because it is getting late for me as well. It's 2.5 hours into this. And I'd like to stop soon. So we're moving her along. Satori for sure. Yuka. Kozuzu. Sakuya. Murasa. Nue. Narumi, Marissa, Takane, Yuki, Ringo. I don't really like Yatsuhashi, but I have a bit of a better opinion of her after drawing her. Just a small one, though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, they activated. Here they come. Here they come. Like fucking sleeper agents, bro. Sleeper agents. Oh, man. Daiose or Yamame? Daiose and Yamame. Daiose. Yamame. On. Komachi. Pachi. Mailing. Enoko. Koishi. Lyrica. Sariel. Ellie. Ellie. Hatate. Yoshika. Eren. Sara. Goku. Rukoto. Shinki. Surako. Yep. You know, that's one of those ones as well. I get to mention this all the time because people like to correct me on it as well. But I'm aware that Ellie's name is Elise. Elise, E-L-I-S. I know how it's pronounced. I don't know when it started happening or why it started happening, but I started calling her Ellie and just not acknowledging the S in her name. And it got confusing because there's an Ellie in Touhou 4. So it's like, streamer, why do you keep saying that's the wrong character? No, it's, trust me, I know what I'm saying. It's just, it reached a point where I was doing it without thinking, and at that point I was just like, alright, I'm not even gonna bother correcting myself anymore. I'm just gonna start saying it like that. That's all it is. I know how her name is pronounced. I do know, but I don't know why I started pronouncing her name like that, and it stuck to a point where I couldn't shake it, and I just decided to accept it. Shinki, Yuma, Nazarin, Yuyiko, Fated Battle, Suwako. Ooh. Do I like Letty or do I like Cherno more? I like Letty more. Tay or Cherno? Tay. Wriggle or Cherno? Cherno. Yutori. Wriggle. Mayumi. Parsi. Kurumi. Kaguya. Kisume. Hikuri. Mugetsu. This is only the second time I've seen Mamizo, mind you. Only the second time. Alright. Alright, I'm out. Okay, bye. Good night. See you tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow. Alright, don't you want to see her final position, bro? What if she's actually, like, top 10? Maybe? Possibly? But what if? You never know. She could be 15th place. It's alright. Alright. Rumia. Aya, Tenshi, Seeker, Oren, Star, Akyu, Shimada, Michael, Genji, Ben, Medicine, Saki, Keiki, Eternity, Seiden, Mioi, Renko, Kana, Rika, Momiji, Futo, Ogu, Snai, Katia, Miko, Fortune Teller, Aiki, Shion, Yugi, Luis. We're getting there. I'm speeding it up. Chat. The percentages gonna start rocketing because there's gonna be less matchups overall. Trust me. Hiso Tensoku, Catfish, Sagume, Chiyuri, Seija, Sumereko. Oh my. Okay. Jun and Sunny. Jun, Kogasa, and Sunny. Flandre, Kogasa. Definitely Flan. Ron. Tsugasa, Basen, Luna, Lunasa, Kyoko, Kagero, Rinosuke, Tsukasa, Ichiden, Mima, Tokiko, Kaneko, Chigari, Eika, Maeda, Alice and Remy. Okay. Alice, Yomu or Remy? That's a hard one. It's probably Remy. Ooh, Lily, it's Yomu, but Lily's pretty great. Lily brings a smile to my face, and sometimes that's all you need, you know? That's all you need. Byakuren, Clown, Bonky, Sho, Merlin, Chen, Raiko, Hina, Iku, Kutaka, Miriko, Momoyo, Hongara, Unzan, Megumu, Reimu, Mistia, Kokoro, Moko, Kwakama, Yukari, Doremi, Kane, Wagasagi Hime, Yumemi, Rikako, Kasen, Yashie, Biten, Shizuha, Junko, Yumeko, Maribel, Orange. Oh, bro, nobody cares about that character. Now we're moving, boys. Satori, yep. Yuka or Die. Yam for sure. Yuka, On, Komachi. I like this. Look at this evolved ass character right here. That is Kozuzu in 13 years, boys. 13 years. Maybe even earlier. Who knows? Komachi, Kozuzu, Pachi, Sakuya. Oh, I got the whole fucking EOSD gauntlet up there. Marasa, Nue, yep. Narumi, Enoko, Marissa, Koishi, Lyrica, Sariel, Ellie, Takane, Yuki, Ringo, Ellie, Yatsuhashi, Hitate, Tojiko, Yoshika, Isami, Ellen, Gengetsu, Eren, Sara, Raisin, Okina. Oh, Yukin Magan is back. Push him to the back, boys. Push him to the back. Oh, great. You know what? The individual eyeballs are cooler than the big stupid tank. Fuck you. Oh my god. Alright, did I ever tell you, chat, the idea that I had that one day Shinky goes and visits Alice, and Alice is so unaffectionate, and she goes boo-hoo-hoo, and then she bumps into Rumia, and Rumia looks just like Alice did when she was a kid, but she has red eyes, and then Shinky takes her and then goes back to Alice to flaunt it. And goes, I don't need you anymore, Alice. I have a new Alice. And then she holds up Rumia, and Rumia is just like, what? And then Alice is just like, what? What are you doing? Mom? Huh? And then she leaves, and then we get to see Rumia and Makai, and Rumia is just like, what the fuck? Where am I? And then Shinky gives her clothes, and she's like, what? And then Shinky gives her a big old fucking meat on a bone, and Rumia is like, oh, baby, meat on a bone. And then everything is fine for a little bit, and then after a couple days she's like, something's really strange here. And then she misses her friends, and she wants to go home to see her friends, and she just doesn't want to. And Shinky's like, oh, I can't do this, she's so adorable, I gotta go put her back. And I'll go back, and she goes back to Alice, and she's like, Alice, I couldn't do it. But meanwhile, Rumia is still dressed up like Alice anyway. And Alice is just like, Mom, this is fucking weird. What are you doing? And then Shinky is like, all right, I'm going to let you go now, new Alice. Never even bothers to call her Rumia, just calls her new Alice. But instead of like putting her down and watching her walk away, she picks her up and throws her like you would release a bird. And because she's Shinki and she's really strong, she like fucking yeets Rumia into the stratosphere, and then Rumia is just gone. And Shinki turns back around to Alice. She's like, Alice, I'm sorry. And Alice is just stunned because she just lobbed Rumia into fucking orbit. She didn't mean to. She didn't mean to. She just heard the expression, if you love something, set it free. So she assumed that when she did it with Alice, it wasn't the same. So she wanted to do it with Rumia, aka New Alice, to illustrate that she loved her. So she wanted to set her free. But then she used too much strength and fucking flung her into the stratosphere. But Shinki doesn't realize this. Really, she doesn't realize this, dude. Meanwhile, Alice is just stunned, like, yeah, alright, Mom. Alright, but actually, secretly, Alice attached one of her doll strings to Rumia so she wouldn't fly into the stratosphere, and it broke her speed, and it didn't snap her in two, because don't worry about the laws of physics, and don't worry about that, and everything is fine. And then at the end, Rumia goes down and knocks on Alice's door and goes in, and then they have tea together, and it's nice. And from there, Shinki leaves, and then Rumia continues to visit Alice, and then Rumia is like a little sister to Alice. And there you go, there's my story. Alright, I'm now going to click buttons. Rumia, Aya, Shinki, Yuma, Tenshi, Seeker, Nezarin, Orin, Star, Yuko, Suwako, Letty. Do you remember in the second Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movie how he broke Gwen Stacy's fall by getting her with the web? But because of the, the laws of momentum, he webbed her, and then she fucking like broke her neck because immediately her force was stopped, and it was just like, and then she's just like, oh no, I couldn't save her. Well, no, you really couldn't, because like that drastic difference in acceleration would just, goodbye neck. Spoilers, bro, that movie is like older than you. Come on now. Anyway, Inabate, Akyu, Cherno, Nitori, Shimanda, Regulu, Mike, Genji, Benben, Mayumi, Medicine, Saki, Parsi, Keiki, Kudumi, Eternity, Seiden, Umioi, Renko, Kaguya, Kisame, Kikuri, Kanna. Whoa. Huh. Now, to be fair, PC98 characters, with like 3 exceptions, all have the same eye color as their hair color. But that kind of caught me off guard there for a second. There's a lot of blonde characters, and like I said, outside of like Kongara, Shingyoku male, and like one other character, every Touhou PC98 character's eye color matches their hair color. So that's why there's a lot of blonde, yellow-eyed blonde characters. Alice was blonde with yellow eyes, and then her eyes turned blue when she came to Windows. But as you see, there's still remnants of the past because some people still draw her with her yellow eyes, which is actually kind of cool because it's more of a nod to her PC98 form when her eyes are yellow. I never really thought of that until just now, to be honest with you. So that would explain why sometimes Alice has yellow eyes, because it forms a connection with her PC98 version. That's really neat. Anyway, I like Kana more. I like Rika more. I don't really like Nemuno. I like Nemuno more than her. Jun, Sunny, Milk, Flandoru, Momiji, Ran, Gussie, Futo, Raisin, Luna, Lunasa, Ogu, Sanai, Kyoko, Hekatia, Kaguro, Miko, Rinosuke, Tsukasa, Fortune Teller, Ichiden, Eiki, Shion, Yugi, Luis, Mima, Tokiko, giant robot, giant catfish, Sakume, Chiyuri, Kanako, Seija. Why did I say PC98 Alice with blue eyes? Well, I think that's more related to after the fact. With Windows Alice, some people give her blue eyes after the fact. But yeah, she does have yellow eyes in PC98. Because like I said, pretty much almost every character in PC98 has the same eye color, hair color. So when she came back with blue eyes, people retroactively made young Alice with blue eyes, but they also made Windows Alice with yellow eyes, which is actually really cool how they kind of bounce back like that. Don't get distracted, make your choice. Shut up, rum boy. Don't you got more rum to drink, huh? Don't drink any more rum. You're not gonna want to do that. You're gonna regret that tomorrow. You're gonna regret it. Chiari, Eika, Meira, Sumireko, Mai, Sega, Mai again. Ooh. It's Reimu. It's Reimu. Alice, Remilia, Yomu, Mistia, Lily, Kokoro, Moko, Byakuden, Clown, Banki, Kwakama, Yukari, Sho, Doremi, Kane, Merlin, Chen, Raiko, Wagasaki, Hina, Yumemi, Rikako, Iku, Kutaka, Minariko, Kasen, Yashie. I thought I double clicked. B10, Shizuha, Momoyo, Junko, Kongara, Dunzan, Yumeko, Maribel, Orange, Megumu, Misumaru, Satono. Oh man, dude. Oh man, Mizuchi, Ruma, Satori, Aya, Shinki, Yuma. Oh shit. I almost just slipped and clicked the big X, closed everything down, shut the whole fucking operation down by accident. Oh man. Oh man. Alright. Tenshi, Dayose, Yamame, Seeker, Nazarin, Oren, Yuka, On, Komachi, Kozusu, Pachi, Sakuya, Meiling, Star, Ieko, Suwako, Letty, Tei, Akyu, Murasa, Nue, Cherno, Narumi, Nitori, Enoko, Chamada, Marissa, Koishi, Lyrica, Sariel, Ellie, Riglu, Michael, Takane, Yuki, Genji, Benben, Ringo, Mayumi, Ellie, Yatsuhashi, Hitate, Medicine, Tojiko, Saki, Parsi, Keiki, Kudami, Yoshika, Eternity, Seiden, Miyoi, Renko, Kaguya, Kisume, Hisami, Kikuri, Kana, Rika, Mugetsu, Ellen, Gengetsu, Eren, Sara, Reisen, Okina, Nemuno. Dude, Zamu ugly. Straight up. No cap. No cap though. Like Zamu ugly. She ugly. Some character. Mamizo, Mimi-chan, Zamu, Singyoku, Rukoto, Urumi, Kotohime, Yuga Magan, Evil Eye, Sigma, Jun. Moon. Remove Alice Sunny Milk. Oh shit. It's romantic children again, dude. It's always romantic children. Why is it always romantic children? I don't understand why it's always romantic children. Where's the PC98 themes? This is SA, right? These are the stage themes. I gotta find the character themes. Complete box. Oh, where's is this her theme? No, it's not. Makrita's theme. Where's Makrita's theme? That's Miko. Oh, here it is. This is an original theme. It's really fucking good. Alright, Remy and Flan. So these two used to be a lot further apart from each other. But yeah, I think it's because I've really mellowed on which Flandre I like the most. And I'm not bothered by other Flandres because the only Flandre I care about is the particular one that I like. So, yeah. I like more interpretations of Remilia, but I have a very solid basis for which Flandre I like. So, I think that's really what it comes down to, is I've really locked in. Basically, she's Rumia. Yes. She's Rumia. Rumia is her. 5 of a kind. Secret. Secret, secret, secret. Oh, man. Alright. Anyway, Remilia is a character I like more. Ooh, do I like her more than Yomu? Ooh. Ooh. But Yomu? But Yomu. Ooh, but Yomu. I don't know. It's Yomu. Yomu. Yomu's pretty great. I'm really considering it. I'm really thinking. I gotta give it to Yomu. Flandre, Mystia, Lily. Kokoro mad funny, dude. She's mad funny. But Momiji, Kokoro, Ran, Kogasa, Futo, Reisen, Luna, Moko, Byakuden, Clown, Banki, Kwakama, Yukari, Lunasa, Sho, Ogu, Doremi, Snai, Kane, Merlin, Kyoko, Chen, Raiko, Hagasaki, Hina, Hikatia, Yumemi, Rikako, Iku, Kutaka, Kagero, Miko, Inosuke, Enrico, Tsukasa, Kassen, Fortune Teller, Yashie, B10, Ichiden, Shizuha, Momoyo, Eiki. We're almost there, chat. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Why are there so many battles, dude? There's so many. There's so many people I have to fight. I can't fight all these people. Shion, Yugi, Luis, Junko, Kongara, Unzan, Yumeko, Maribel, Mima, Tokiko, Hisotensoku, Orange, The Fish, Megumu, Sagume, Chieri, Shimi, Kaneko, Stage Up, Misamaru, Chiari, Eika, Meira, Satono, Sumireko, Mai, Sega, Mizuchi, I don't care about that character. I don't care about that character. Yorgami-yun! Reimu and Rumia. Oh. Oh, that's my comfort character. That's my comfort character right there. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. Alright. Rumia and Reimu together are great. Individually, they're both very strong characters. But if I had to pick which one I see, what I want to see the most of, it's the Ruma. And then Reimu, and then Alice, and then Satori, and Aya, and Shinki, and Sunny, and Yuma, and Remy, and Yomu, and Flan, and Tenshi, and Mistia, and Dai, and Yam, and Lily, and Momiji, and Seeker, and Kokoro, and Ron, and Gussie, and Rat, and Cat. Yuka, On, Komachi, Kozuzu, Futo, Raisin, Pachi, Luna, not Sakuya, sorry, Moko Sakuya. Is that even correct? No, it's not. It's Byakuren over Sakuya. Clown, Banki, Wakama, Yukari, Lunasa, Sho, Ogu, Dorami, Sakuya, Meiling, Star, Yiko, Suwako, Letty, Tay, Snai, Kane, Merlin, Kyoko, Akyu, Chen, Raiko, Wagasaki, Hina, Murasa, Nue, Cherno, Hikatia, Narumi, Nitori, Anoko, Yumemi, Rikako, Shimada, Iku, Kutaka, Kaguro, Iko, Marissa, Renosuke, Koishi, Lyrica, Sariel, Ellie, Minariko, Tsukasa, Kassen, Fortune Teller, Yashie, V10, Ichiden, Shizuha, Bigulu, Michael, Takane, Yuki, Genji, Benben, Momoyo, Eiki, Shion, Yugi, Ringo, Mayumi, Luis, Junko, Kongara, Nzan, Ellie, Yumeko, Yatsuhashi, Atate, Medicine, Kojiko, Saki, Parsi, Keiki, Kudumi, Maribel, Mima, Tokiko, Yoshika, Larva, Seiden, Miyoi, Renko, Kaguya, Kisume, Hisami, Kikuri, Kana, Rika, Mugetsu, Ellen, Gengetsu, Isotensoku, Orange, Great Catfish, Eden, Megumu, Sagume, Chiyuri, Shimi, Kanako, Sabra, Reisen, Seija, Misamaru, Chiyari, Eika, Maeda, Satono, Okina, Nemuno, Sumereko, Mai, Mamizo, Sega, Mizuchi, Mai, Mimi-chan, Samu, Sigyoku, Ukoto, Urumi, Kotohime, Yugamagani, Volai, Sigma. It always boils down to this. It always boils down to this. Oh shit! Wait, basically the same. If you think about it, it's basically the same. Alright, chat. Are you ready? Are you ready for Streamers 2024? 2025? Sawyer? You want to know your top 15 from last year right now or after the fact? After. Let's go through this first. Okay, so number 1 and number 6. Can you guess, chat? Can you guess? That's right. Yorigami-jun and Aya. Aya in 6th place. It's pretty low. That's pretty low. Who could have seen this coming? That's pretty low. Okay, but do you know who 2nd and 7th are? Do you know who they are? Oh, you can see the side over there. Yeah, stop reading the side, dummy. Stop reading it. You're spoiling yourself. Number 2 and number 7 are Rumiya and Shinki. Wow. Wow, how did this happen? How did this happen? I can tell you why. You already know why. Who's number 3? And who's number 8? Who could it be? Whoa, it's Hakure Reimu and Sunny Milk. Whoa, that's crazy. That's insane. Who could have seen this coming? Lily music. What about number 4 and number 9? It's Alice and Yuma. Whoa. How about that? And then finally, number 5 and number 10. It's Satori and Remilia. There you go. There's the toppy 10, boys. Number 11 is Yomu. Number 12 is Flandre. Number 13 is Tenchi. Number 14 is Mistia. And number 15 is Daiose. So, the big obvious changes is Shinki is now in my top 10. Sunny is now in top 8. Alice is now top 5. She took Aya's place. Your top 15 last year was Jun, Reimu, Yuma, Suika. Oh god, where's Suika? Aya, Satori, Rumiya, Sunny, Komachi, Alice, Tenchi, Remy, Nazrin, Momiji, and Yomu. Wow. Chino at 61st place. Where did Suika drop to? Oh, she's 19. She was number 2 at one... Bro, she was number 1 at one point. Suika was number 1 at one point, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Things change, man. That's crazy. Sunny's great, man. Sunny reminds me that everything is good. That's what Sunny does. Sunny reminds me that everything is good. Insane. Yeah, there you go. Who are my least favorites? We're gonna find out right now. I mean, do you even really expect much? Alright, so 126. Just so you can't see anymore. I'm gonna read them off, but you can't see them. Rika, Mugetsu, Ellen, Gengetsu. Hiso Tensoku, Orange, Great Catfish, Eren, Megumu, Sagume, Chiuri, Shimi, Kanako, Sara, Reisen from Bugetsu Show, Seiya, Misamaru, Chiari, Eika, Meira, Satono, Okina, Nemuno, Sumireko, Mai Tereda, Mamizo, Sega, Mizuchi, Mai, PC98, Mimi, Zanmu, Singyoku Female, Rukoto, Urumi, Kotohime, Yugen Magan, Evil Eye Sigma, Singyoku Male, Watatsuki no Yorihime, Komakusa Sanyo, and Watatsuki no Toyohime. There you go. Toyohime is the most boring fucking character ever. She's so boring, bro. She's like Yuyiko if Yuyiko wasn't interesting. That is pretty accurate a description to Toyohime as a character. Like, no joke. I don't actually think that is entirely inaccurate. Star at 45. Wow. Lunasa at 39. It's crazy, bro. That's crazy. So, chat, what does my top 10 say about me? What does streamer's top 10 say about streamer? aside from everything streamer said about streamer as he was picking his characters. I have problems. You're cringe. That you're really cool. That you like gremlins. Bro, what? What? Goober type of guy. You know what? That's pretty true. Based or cringe. Chad, how about we do a stream where you give me your sorters and I judge you? That won't backfire. That could not backfire. No chance. 0 chance that could backfire. What, you want to laugh at my sorter and you don't want to give me yours? Huh? Is that how it is? He learned nothing. Oh, I learned a lot. I learned a lot. Anyway, Joan Gremlin, Rumia Gremlin, Remu Giga Gremlin, Remy Gremlin, Sunny Gremlin. What do you mean Giga Gremlin? What the fuck do you mean Remu Giga Gremlin? Also, you only talked about 5. That's only half. That's only half, bro. Douchey, I don't need your sorter because I can find your top 10 in my bottom 5. All right, brother? Like, I don't need your sorter because your sorter is already on my sorter. It's just on the other side of it. That's all. That's all, brother. That's all. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Alice and Shinky. Okay. Okay. I like how half of my list is small and then the other half of my list is like potential parental figure. Could you imagine Aya raising a kid? You got Aya, Shinky, Reimu, Alice, Satori as like the responsible ones. Then you have fucking Jun, Rumia, Sunny, Yuma, and Remy as the little bastards. Who gets stuck with who? We're playing an episode of Wife Swap here. Aya's great. Aya's great because she gets involved in all kinds of bullshit too. She's not overprotective. My streamer is based. That's all I needed to see. It's all I needed to hear. But there you go, chat. There's my stream. There's just my streamer sorter for this year. Yeah. It took 3 hours, 2 minutes, 59 seconds. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. It is now 2025. So, a lot changed, but also some things didn't change at all. Pretty neat. Pretty neat, I'd say. Now it is time for all of us to go. I hope you enjoyed. We'll probably try to find more sorter-based stuff in the future if I can think of anything fun. I like tier lists a little more just because you could be more, you know, you can do a little more with them. But this is where we end our New Year's stream. Happy New Year. This will be uploaded on 2025. I will see you in the future. Patchy, what you playing?